or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4RELIEF. Help fight pain naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go: shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms: irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. And look at you, hands perfectly placed on the wheel, not like the driver to the right of you who's really going after that drum solo. Save with DriveWise on the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Everybody's got a podcast these days. Comedy, politics, true crime, you name it. But how many actually teach you anything useful? Harman Solar has an entertaining podcast that is vital if you've been thinking about looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Ralph and Ben explore the intricacies of utilities, equipment, processes, and more. Their primary objective is to educate and empower you to make informed decisions on your solar journey. So increase your knowledge, not your bills. Go check it out right now. It's the Harman Solar Podcast at harmansolar.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. See for yourself when you sign up today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. Terms and conditions apply.
Live from the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale.
Here we go.
This is KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Thursday edition of the Daily Blender on this great day in central southern Arizona. And we are broadcasting live from the Harman Solar Studios in beautiful uptown Scottsdale. You are the fourth dimension, texting in on the text line at 888-368-1580. And right over there, the sexy Spanish Sports Talk Radio, that's Keon Rose. Next to him, Ralph Romano. I'm Randy White.
I don't get a title?
I don't really have. I don't have one for myself. I don't have one for.
Okay, that's fine.
Jeffrey's not here today. Might return Monday. Maybe. Maybe. And we are here for the next 3 hours of radio broadcasting history. Snakes. Well, they win again in Cincinnati. Can I say? The Suns have made a move today. Jalen Brunson is the man. We will also talk about some of the NBA playoffs. The Eagles are making some moves. Brian Kelly and the LSU Tigers. Tigers. And a whole lot more here on this edition of the Daily Blender. Keon.
Where do we start?
Keon.
Oh, man.
Diamondbacks have swept the Reds in Cincinnati.
That's pretty fun.
Yesterday it was 4-3. Today, Diamondbacks win again. I'm trying to look up the score today.
5-4, I think, right?
It was at 5-4.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Diamondbacks sweep in Cincinnati. Here we go. Sorry. Jordan Montgomery looked good last night. He was wonderful, grinding out a 4-3 win. Today, Diamondbacks win again. The offense looking good as we continue on with our, I look, Diamondbacks are not going to amaze anybody. They're not going to, sweep through baseball and everybody's going to be, oh my God, the Diamondbacks are so, nobody's going to do that. But look, we went to Cincinnati and we go on to Baltimore now.
And it looked like the Diamondbacks were reeling there a little bit. So to regroup, get a good, nice
reeling.
Win.
What do you mean reeling?
Reeling in the sense that they had a couple of series where they weren't winning those series.
Just be honest, they sucked.
And
what do you mean they sucked? They won, Ralph. You're fired.
I'm trying to help Keon with words.
Well, no,
again,
because I've seen the Colorado Rockies play. The word "suck" is reserved for teams that make my eyes bleed like that. I use my words carefully. I don't say you're either a championship team or you suck.
Well, look,
that's ridiculous. There's a range between that.
In game one, Zach Gallen came in. He looked spectacular. Paul Sewald came in. He looked spectacular. And then, Jordan, what's his name?
Montgomery.
Montgomery. Yeah. He came in. He grinded one out yesterday. Today, the Snakes won again. And we're on to Baltimore.
That's a sweep.
I don't know.
They're going to get
Snakes.
Randy, they're going to get
nice.
Baltimore didn't sweep the Nats just now, so I'm just.
That's
true.
Saying. That's true.
they're a really damn good team, but they're not unbeatable.
You're going in there with your back end of your pitching. That's the problem.
Well,
that's not. I mean,
maybe
it's not ideal.
It's not going to be pretty.
If we're honest,
it's not great, but. Snakes win again, and they move on to Baltimore, and we'll see what happens from there. I love the fact that Ketel Marte is hitting the ball again. Corbin Carroll is hitting the ball, and the rest of the top end of that lineup for the Diamondbacks hitting the ball. Ralph, what do you got to say?
Corbin Carroll's not hitting the ball. He was.
He is.
He's 1 for his last 8. He's not hitting the ball.
What are you talking?
He had a good game the first game, and he hasn't done anything since. Corbin Carroll is struggling. He does not know how to adjust to the way they're pitching him this year, and it shows. And he's batting 200, he's having issues. He needs to figure it out. He's
batting 200, but the last 3 games, what do you get?
He was 1 for 8 the last 2 games.
Come on now, come on, Keon, give me some hope here.
Well, he's getting on base, so it's not. You can go 1 for 8, but you get on base, you get walked and things like that. You do what you got to do to get on base. I do think that. He's looking better now than he did at the beginning of the season, and you hope that the arrow of Corbin Carroll is trending upwards.
Tell you who's not hitting, it's Eugenio Suarez.
No.
Eugenio Suarez is 175. He's not hitting at all. Ralph is getting out his numbers.
I'm pulling out because I'm going to talk about the Diamondbacks. I'm talking about the Diamondbacks this weekend as one of the top 3 disappointments in the league so far this year.
Oh, no.
Because
really?
They are.
Can I be a guest on your show, please?
Anytime you ever want, you have a
Can I be a guest on your show?
Absolutely.
We'll talk about that.
Well, I mean, the points that I'm going to make is that Corbin Carroll is a big disappointment right now, and he hasn't figured out how to adjust to the up and in pitch. He's struggling.
Oh, I don't know.
That's where they're attacking him. If you watch, they're attacking him up and in because he can't hit it. So he's got to figure that out. Gurriel Jr. is taking a step back. He's not having a good year. And Brandon Pfaadt, whatever you want to call him, he's failed to measure. He's totally not what he was in the postseason. Those are 3 big failures right now.
All right.
So it's really hurt them. I mean, does it mean that they're done? No, it doesn't mean that.
No,
it just means
I don't
that
think they're done.
In the first quarter of the season, they're not what we thought we were going to see. That's all.
Well, yeah, I think it's. I don't want to say it's the same thing as with the Dodgers, but I do think that the Dodgers could be even more dominant. But they're dinged up.
You can't.
They're dinged up.
You can't take the Diamondbacks and put them next to the Dodgers. You can't.
I'm not trying to. I'm trying to compare them in a very specific way. which is the injuries that like the Diamondbacks are not playing up to the level that we thought. And part of it is the injuries. And I think that the Dodgers could flatten people even more if they were healthy.
They're going to. That's a scary.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But I'm turning back to the Diamondbacks to say, like, injuries, especially to pitching, is going to affect what your team looks like and how your team plays, and how many wins you've gotten in that win column. So I just think that I want to see them get healthy first, and then if they're still struggling after that, well, good Lord, I don't know what to do after that.
They need to focus on just playing better. They need to focus. Forget the division. You're not winning the division. You're going to be, before you blink, you're going to be 15 games out. I mean, the Dodgers are just too good. So you got to focus on trying to get a wild card spot, and you can do it. There's no reason you can't. Just start playing a better game, get some people back, and we'll see how it goes. But that division, good luck. It ain't going to happen. The Dodger team is ridiculous good. And they're not even there yet. And they're ridiculous good.
I think I've said that going into the season. Nobody's going to beat the Dodgers. They're going to win the NL West. Bottom line.
It's easy to say that, like I said it too, but then when you start watching it, it's a little scary how good they are. And like Keon just said, they've got 6 arms that still are hurt.
And they're starting to get healthy. I mean, what's
Walker Buehler came back? Yeah,
Walker Buehler.
He looked really good his last 2 innings. He looked like the old Walker Buehler. A couple of bits of rust the first 2 innings, and then he looked really good.
I just think if you're a team right now and you're going to be playing the Dodgers a lot, get your wins in now. Get them in now, because I don't know what to do with that team.
I mean,
when
they
get
did the
healthy.
Braves. I mean, they made the Braves look just mortal. I mean,
that was brutal.
Made the Braves look mortal.
I mean, they just swept right through them.
The Braves are really good. I watched the Braves a lot. All right. Hey.
Well, D-backs win. Sweep, baby. We'll take it.
It's a good sweep.
We'll take it. We'll take a sweep, and we'll go to Baltimore with our confidence high, and hopefully Corbin Carroll can get right, and the rest of the Diamondbacks can get right. Eugenio Suarez, I'm worried about him.
Yeah,
he's had a bad season hitting. This is like the worst. This is like the worst season he's had. So I don't know what to say. But anyway,
it's young. It's early.
It is an early season. So Diamondbacks win in Cincinnati. We go on to Baltimore. We take on the Orioles, and we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, in Phoenix.
Told you.
Did anybody not see this coming? Keon, did you not see this coming?
I mean,
according to a report, Suns fire head coach Frank Vogel after his first round sweep.
It just seemed impossible. Somebody had to pay for
this
that.
Coming.
Had to happen.
How could you not see it coming? I mean, somebody had to pay for that loss, pay for that sweeping.
Yeah.
And you can't move any of the players, and those contracts are guaranteed.
Can't fire the owner.
And you can't fire the owner. And James Jones was just doing what his boss told him. There's only one person left holding the bag on that one. Like I noticed a lot of people were saying on the Twitters and everything, how come the front office gets off scot-free? They get off scot-free because the boss told him to go get Bradley Beal. They went and got Bradley Beal. Frank Vogel wanted a point guard. The boss said no. So he didn't get a point guard.
I don't think getting rid of Vogel is going to take care of those roster issues. I don't think that's going to be the issue.
No. And there's a bunch of there's enough blame on this team to go around that firing Frank Vogel is not the most insane thing that's happened in this sequence. He does play a part in the fact that they didn't win any games in the postseason.
What part does he play? Come on.
The part where this team doesn't have a leader, and the coach is the most obvious guy. If you have a group of guys in your locker room and none of them is the vocal guy, they pay you. They literally pay you to get the best out of these players.
Is that Frank Vogel's? Is that his fault?
It's partially his fault. I'm not putting it all on him. In fact, I don't think that any from top to bottom, from Matt Ishbia all the way on down, I don't think that there's anybody that's really blame free. I just think that Vogel is part of the equation, and he's the most changeable part. So he was going. Whether anybody liked it or not, he was going. Frank Vogel felt like they had his back, but every coach thinks that because they don't tell you they're going to fire you until they're going to fire you.
Don't you think you look at the Laker open position and now you have the Sun open position? Who wants those jobs? Those are two tough jobs.
I think that those are two.
They're tough.
If you're a young coach and maybe think I can jump in and try and prove myself and prove something, that's who you're probably getting for those jobs. Anybody that's got any clout, any ability to try and get themselves into a nice situation, I don't want to coach either of those teams.
I agree.
They're cap hell.
So which team would you rather go to, Suns or Lakers?
Yikes.
Can I
If
retire?
If you're a
I mean,
coach,
is retiring an option?
You get approached by both teams. Which team would you pick, Suns or Lakers?
I don't know, because I mean the Lakers look stuck. I don't know how they get better. You fire your coach after 2 years. The Suns also look stuck. You fire that coach after 1 year. So you're basically like, if you go there and don't perform,
so
you're
Ralph,
getting the axe.
So Ralph,
I think the only way I take either one of those jobs is in LA. I would say I need to move LeBron, and that's not going to happen, right? So I'm not going to take that job. In Phoenix, I want to move KD. I want to move KD, and
you want to move KD?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because I want to get stuff for him. Because right now I'm stuck with him. He's a great player, and I love him, but I'm not going to get better the way that team is right now.
Why not Beal? Why KD?
Because no one's going to take.
Because he can't move Beal.
You can move KD right now, and you can get a lot out of it, and it's going to help you going forward. And that's the move you have to make. And if they would allow me to make that move, I take that job. If they don't, I don't want that job, because you're not going to go anywhere with it.
And as much as Beal is obviously the weak man in the group of three guys each making roughly $50 million a year, which is insane to say. But in that group, he's the weak guy. It's precisely because he's the weaker guy that you can't move him. That he didn't do enough for another team to go, you know what? Yeah, I'll take that production for 50 mil.
Right.
I'll say this: Suns didn't have a bench to help support these three big guys.
Yeah, and
you don't have the money to get what you need, though.
And part of it, the reason you didn't have a bench is because of the nature of the contracts of the big three.
But the Suns didn't come in with a strong point guard. They did not come in with any guys off the bench that's going to help them. And I feel like it wasn't Frank Vogel's. But he also didn't do much to make adjustments. He never does. I'm not a Frank Vogel fan. I don't think he's. I get that.
It's just talked about it. But if you move KD, at least now you could bring in a point guard. You could bring in some size underneath, and you could bring in some depth. So that can make you better.
All right. So Keon, where are you going to move KD? Let's say you have the opportunity. Where are you going to move him? New York.
I mean,
whoever makes a good offer.
Whoever makes the best offer, but
Dallas.
You're trying to look and see with what
Oklahoma
trade partner.
City?
Oklahoma City doesn't need a Kevin Durant. They've built through the draft. That's how they always build. They're not going to do it. Clippers don't have the cap space. I don't think the Lakers do either because of the LeBron.
The Lakers can trade a lot.
Contract. The Lakers can trade.
They can give them a lot for KD.
They've got more trade flexibility.
Does he want to go to Los Angeles Lakers?
I don't know if KD has a trade clause in his contract, so I don't know if it matters. If doing right by him doesn't matter.
Let's say it doesn't, and you want to make a move today. What are you going to do? Lakers?
I mean, LeBron and AD are buddies.
Yeah, but also, who do you want back from him? Like, it's not just to trade him away, just to trade him. What are you getting back?
Well, I
don't know that the Lakers have anything that I don't know that the Lakers have anything that I would really want right now.
You have to give away probably Hachimura. You have to give away what's that kid's name?
Like you might get a little bit deeper as long as you feel very good about the Devin Booker and Bradley Beal sharing the court a whole lot better. Because the fact is,
give him D'Angelo too.
I'm sorry, Beal did not impress me this year.
Yeah, it turned out to be a bad fit, which to me, I thought he would be a better fit because he's a guy that doesn't actually need the ball in his hands. But I actually thought he was too passive. I thought he deferred too much. And there were points in games where it's like, dude, this could be your game to take over and put the team on your back and get a win. And then he just never did it. And I don't know if he just never felt assertive enough. I have no idea. But like that is part of the disappointing nature of the thing with Beal. But whatever you do, you have to consider Bradley Beal in your plans because you can't move him. Like, you absolutely have to plan for him being on the team.
Did you see that one proposed trade where they were saying the Lakers would give the Suns D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, Taron Prince, Max Christie, then their first round pick in 29, and another pick after that. That would give them 4 players, 2 picks for KD.
You're deeper. Just know that you
Got
are
a point guard.
You're getting out of the championship contention business. You could argue whether or not you're in it right now, but you are officially getting out of it.
Maybe.
If you do that. You
I
are.
don't know. That'd be a pretty decent trade for them.
It would be a decent trade in the sense that you would be taking one giant contract and breaking it up into like 4 smaller contracts and maybe a couple of guys you'd actually like to keep. But none of those guys get you to Western Conference Finals.
I guess it depends. Yeah, the problem you still have with
this
this roster
roster
is Booker still. I mean, not Booker, but Beal's still there. He's not doing anything for you. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, he has to play a whole lot better to make that work. And even then, when I look around the Western Conference, like, are there matchups that team could absolutely exploit and beat? Yeah, but there's not a ton of them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's less of those. I am deeply worried about the Suns because it just seems like what they appear to be doing is doubling down on this big 3. And any trade or any moves they make this offseason is essentially going to be to double down on these 3 guys.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good way to not be able to control your own draft future for the next 7-8 years.
Yep.
All right. So when we come back, let's take a break. When we come back, I got a lot of texts on the text line, 888-368-1580, including Canada and Japan. We'll talk to those folks and a whole lot more. Frank Vogel fired today by the Phoenix Suns, and we'll get your thoughts and Frank and all that. What's going to happen with the Phoenix Suns? So it's the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
NBA playoffs tonight, 2 games on the schedule. The Boston Celtics home for game 2 of their playoff series against Cleveland. The Celtics are a 13-point favorite at home. They've won their 5 playoff victories by double digits. Boston minus 950 on the money line. Cleveland plus 610. The over-under in Boston is at 212. The Oklahoma City Thunder will be hosting the Dallas Mavericks. Game 2 of that series in the Western Conference. The Thunder, the top seed in the West, are a 5-point home favorite, minus 200 on the money line. Dallas plus 168 with an over-under of 218. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Chris Christopherson. Before they were legends, they were lost souls looking for their sound. You want to be a songwriter?
No, Willie, you are a songwriter.
Discover the true, untold story of Sue Brewer, the extraordinary woman behind outlaw country music, starring Mandy Moore and featuring T.J. Osborne.
They call it the Boar's Nest. It's just my apartment, but you never know who'll show up.
In a new scripted Audible original. Any advice?
Yeah, distill something whiskey can't.
The Boar's Nest, Sue Brewer and the birth of outlaw country music. Listen on Audible.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. And look at you, hands perfectly placed on the wheel, not like the driver to the right of you who's really going after that drum solo. Save with DriveWise in the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Let's go! What is gone? Oh boy! Baseball season is off and running. The Diamondbacks look to defend their NL championship from last season. Will the Snakes repeat their dramatic run to the playoffs? If it's Diamondbacks baseball, we talk about it. Live and local for the Valley. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. And always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Welcome back to the Daily Blender on Thursday. Let's go to the text line at 888-368-1580. Lacrosse guy says, Ralph, the front runner. What? I mean, lacrosse guy thinks you're the front runner.
For what?
Thinks you're a guy that's running at the front, I guess.
I usually come from behind.
You
That's not what I need. Oh my gosh.
From
I just
behind?
knew that was wrong after it came
Yeah,
out of my mouth.
not with this listening audience. I'll tell you that.
Now wait, just what is that?
Jeez, that was a mistake.
Does Pippi know that?
She knows a lot of things she shouldn't know.
Hang on, just let that settle in for a second.
Yeah, let's let that settle. That's great.
Let's see here. Pierre from Canada says, "Hello, Keon. Hello, Randy, Ralph. I see our Phoenix Suns have fired their head coach. Can I interest you in getting rid of Darko Rajakovic?"
I'm sorry. What?
Can I interest you in getting rid of Darko Rajakovic here in Canada? I think he's a spy, personally, but
the Raptors coach. I think that guy's pretty solid, but I mean,
can I see you getting rid of
that team's not good.
Darko Rajakovic?
I don't know if he's the guy for this squad.
No, he said getting rid of.
Yeah, I know. He's saying getting. He's the Raptors coach.
Pierre wants him,
and so he's asking if we would take him off their hands. Is how I understood the question.
Oily Stool says, "Hi, Blender crew. Did you happen to catch yesterday's thrilling game 1 of the NHL playoffs between the Canucks and the Oilers? It was close, 5-4 Canucks. I do not like those Canucks. We do not like this city of Vancouver here in Edmonton."
Okay, that was a great game. They were down 4-2, and they came back and won the game 5-4. Really good game. Classic playoff hockey.
However, Orly Stool doesn't like it.
Well, it's because he's from Edmonton and they lost.
BBL Drizzly says, "Can we just make it BBL Drizzly instead of Drizzy?"
Well, it's a different
Can we
reference. I mean,
make it
that's not
Drizzly?
quite the reference, but you can say it however you got to say it to get.
Drizzly balsamic vinaigrette here. What the hell does that mean?
We don't even know.
I'm very happy today after yesterday's great victory by the Vancouver Canucks. I think my Canucks will finally end the 30-year curse of no Canadian team winning the Stanley Cup. Please. Come on.
Let's not get crazy.
Come on. Easy.
I guess pure odds are in your favor. They have to win eventually. Just at some point in time.
You know,
I don't know if it's
Drizzy,
this year, but you know.
Easy, Drizzy. Easy. That's all I got to say. Pump the brakes. Let's see here. Cole Pappy. What does that mean? Anyway, what's up, fellas? How about them D-backs? I can't wait to see who the Suns hire to drive this train wreck. But at least I have my Cubs. Suck it, Ralph. Wow.
I don't know what you're mad at me about. I didn't do anything.
That's not Cole Pappy. That's T-licious. Sorry.
I'm not the reason your Cubs suck.
T-licious. Cole Pappy says, "No one said they're winning the division. Shut up, Ralph."
No one said who's winning the division.
I'm guessing Diamondbacks.
Must be talking about the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's good.
Ralph,
No one should say that because it's not going to happen.
Haruto from Japan says, and I translated this myself. "Hello, Mr. Rose. Hello, Mr. White. Hello, Mr. Romano, Dodger fans. I'm glad to be on the air today. Shohei Ohtani has been playing lights out lately. The Dodgers are really good, the best in baseball. I wish I hadn't.
Wish you had not gone through the trouble to translate that.
Shohei Ohtani is better than I thought. He's ridiculous.
Well, he's
look, ridiculous.
I mean, Shohei's been hitting the hell out of the ball. He's been hitting the cover off the ball.
I mean, he hits the ball. It's just it's ridiculous how far it goes. I mean,
it doesn't matter what he does. He seems to just always do it right.
You know where he's really good, Randy, and you'll appreciate this. It's that that 2-strike pitch that pitcher throws on the outside corner to try to get you, and he just takes it, goes with it, and slaps it down the line for a double. He's that guy, right? I mean, those are great hitters.
Mr. Wilbur, who can't see.
So he couldn't see that double then. Okay.
So yeah.
Let me help Ralph count to 4. Home run gone, home run gone, home run gone, and finally another home run gone.
Yeah, that's the Dodgers lately.
Wilbur, what the hell does that mean?
He's probably talking about the Dodgers playing against, I think it was
home run gone.
It was the Marlins where they had 4 home runs in like the first 3 innings.
The Marlins, really?
Well,
Are you going to bring that in here? Really?
4 home runs in 3 innings. I'm going to bring it.
Come on.
It's
The
impressive no
Marlins?
matter who you do it against, man.
The Marlins? Come on,
It's,
Ralphie.
it's not like they're
Wait.
giving that up to everybody.
Now you're talking about the sweep against the Reds, and you're going to give me crud about the Marlins? Please. Same thing.
According to Big George, per Woj, Mike Budenholzer is emerging as the front runner to become the next Phoenix Suns head coach. How do you guys feel about that? Keon, I'll start with you.
Well, there was a point where I thought Mike Budenholzer was a step back, but Mike Budenholzer bad at adjusting. He is still bad at adjusting. Like that's just going to be a lot of coaches.
Has he learned anything in his
time off?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll find out. But he does have at least the quality that guys like to play for. He does have that, if nothing else. And I think that with Vogel, I don't know if guys like playing for him, but he couldn't fire any of them up. He couldn't get any of them to get their heads on straight when he had plays to run. And I saw he did it throughout the season. Guys were running the plays that he was calling out. And then we got to the playoffs and it was, oh, look, let's stand and watch Devin Booker dribble the ball for 20 seconds of our shot clock. And then Devin Booker's either going to put his head down and go to the basket or he's going to throw it to somebody. And like hot potato, they're going to have 5 seconds to throw it at the basket. It was infuriating to watch, and watching the head coach stand there, his arms are crossed, and he can't get through to his team is kind of ridiculous. So, like Mike Budenholzer, you could do worse than Mike Budenholzer at this point.
So, Ralph, what do you think? Mike Budenholzer for the Suns?
Am I right in saying that he'd be pretty pricey?
He would be pretty pricey,
So
but I don't think that Matt Ishbia has any
Right.
problems cutting
I
the
think
check.
he's a more expensive Frank Vogel.
Who gives a blink?
Well, I don't know.
With the ads of what you just said,
Mike
but ultimately, I think-
Budenholzer has an NBA championship that no one
Yep.
can
Yep.
can slap the excuse
Yep.
of, well, it was the
And
bubble.
he only had what's his name? The Greek Freak. He only had him.
I mean, he had him, but he also had, a team that was down 0-2 and he came back and won the finals. Like there were things that he did. It's just over the long haul. I do think teams get kind of tired with the result of a Mike Budenholzer, which is that usually once you reach a certain point, it starts to repeat itself. That's why he got fired from Atlanta. I think that's why Milwaukee kind of saw the handwriting on the wall with him, where you're just like, I don't think that there's another level up. The problem was that the Suns were so bad in the playoffs under Frank Vogel. You just go another level up would be an improvement here from what we had with Frank.
So you guys both think that Budenholzer is an upgrade?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I don't think he gets you where you want to go.
I think they should be a little bit more creative. I don't think that you necessarily have to go through the retread pool and go, circle the wagon with a bunch of guys we've seen get fired from a bunch of other places. If you cast a wide net, you start looking in the college ranks and see what's there. Look at some guys that are up and coming coaches on other staffs. It might be somebody we're not familiar with that might
Keon,
actually
what
be
are
the
you
best guy
thinking?
for the job.
What are you thinking, Keon? Who do you think? Somebody, if you had the opportunity, who would you put as head coach of the Phoenix?
Well, that's a tough question because
it's not. Go ahead.
It actually is, because I don't know who the best fit for this team would be. I don't know any of these guys. Like I'm interested in their process of how they go about and do it, but they have firms that they hire to look at through all of these coaching names and then bring back the best candidates.
Firms?
Yeah, man. I think it's how a lot of these coaching hires happen, unless
I
the
think
owner.
you need to hire this guy or this guy.
Yeah, well,
because of this, that, and the other.
they help you narrow it down a little bit. Like, here are just some candidates that you can look at, and then your front office can go from that point forward.
I
so
don't
like
buy it.
that's how it works. I'm telling you that's how it works. You don't have to buy it.
Don't you feel like we're starting to see a trend? Like we're definitely seeing it in the NFL where we're starting to get away from the retreads and we're starting to go for the young guys, right? We're definitely seeing that in football. And maybe it's time to start seeing more of that in basketball too.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know that you want to go like a very young coach on this team just because of the veterans and like being able to manage those personalities. I do think that like Budenholzer does give you a really good chance with that because he's got experience coaching a team with Chris Middleton and Giannis and Drew Holiday, and like those guys aren't as big as having a Beal and Booker and Durant, but at least you've got some experience managing guys that are superstars or at least all stars.
So Ralph, let me ask you, Ralph. Go ahead. Who do you think?
I can give you my standard Neil answer. I don't know.
Well, that's a good answer. Really? You don't actually know. Like,
I really don't. I really don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I'm with Keon. I have no idea who's a good fit for this team. I really don't know. I'd have to really look at it. I have no clue at this point. I'm at the same point with the Lakers. I have no clue who's a good fit at that one.
Yeah, I don't.
So Keon, looking at what's happening right now in the NBA, looking at maybe who we think might be available, who do you think might be available that would be a good fit for the Phoenix Suns?
That might be available.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously Budenholzer's there. Boy, I wish they hadn't lost Kevin Young in the offseason because I think that Kevin Young would be somebody.
Could he come back?
No. I mean, he could, but he just started coaching at BYU. They haven't played a single game with him as head coach. So no, I don't think he would likely come back. I think he's going to try and forge his own way. I know that there's a potential that Chauncey Billups could be available.
Chauncey Billups?
Yeah, he's coaching in Portland with the Trailblazers right now. And like, him and management have some issues, but he is somebody who has been really good as an assistant in the past. And he's also somebody who, because of his, Hall of Fame resume, his championship, he would get the respect of the locker room. He would be able to actually tell people to do things and they would do it.
So what I've done, Randy, for you is I went and asked ChatGPT who they should hire.
Yeah.
They actually gave me an answer.
Oh, geez.
Well, it's interesting because it says, it needs someone with a strong track record of player development, tactical flexibility, and leadership. And it says candidate number one would be Kenny Atkinson.
Kenny Atkinson's name has come up before.
See?
I'm just not as familiar with Kenny Atkinson, so I can't really tell you.
And then Becky Hammond is number 2 and Adrian Griffin number 3. Those are
Becky Hammond.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Those are the suggestions. I'm going to go
Las
with
Vegas
ChatGPT.
Aces and head coach. And Adrian Griffin is somebody who's interesting to me because I do think the guy's a good coach in the X's and O's department.
Yeah.
However, he got fired because his players hated playing for him. In the middle of the season, and they thought Doc Rivers was an improvement. So
that's scary.
I'm a little concerned about that. That's my only issue with Adrian Griffin is I don't know, man. Giannis is like one of the most laid back superstars in the league, and he couldn't keep you employed. That is a little worrying. It's a little worrying.
Pull the plug says hire Shaq as coach of the Suns.
No,
he
stop.
can't do any worse. He can supply free icy hot.
First off, the Suns won 49 games, and they were the 6th seed in the playoffs. You absolutely can do worse.
Really?
There's worse
If
than
you
that.
have free icy hot, are you sure?
I think so.
Is it actually worth it if you're not winning games?
Fish Tank says
you're not sore, but you're losing.
Bring Mike D'Antoni back. Bring him back.
No.
All right.
That's just
tell you what, we got to take a break. We've got lots on the text line at 888-368-1580. We'll talk about those next. We've got some more NBA to talk. We've got some MLB. We've got some NFL. Who the hell knows where we're going next? It's the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Moments like my daughter telling me a new joke mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative NBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
I spray and scrub, but the soap scum in my bathtub is still there.
I spray and scrub, but the burnt sauce on my stovetop sticks around.
Sprays can leave grime behind. The new Mr. Clean Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser combines the scrubbing power of an eraser with the cleaning power of Dawn to melt away tough messes on contact.
Just wet, squeeze, and erase.
Stop spraying, start erasing, and clean with more magic than ever with new Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Hi, guys. Jeffrey O'Brien here. Have you ever gone to HarmonSolar.com? Well, you really need to, because everything you ever wanted to know about how solar power can save you big on your monthly electric bill is right there. It's online. Through your phone or through your computer, you can learn about tax credits, the equipment they use, look at how they do things for businesses as well as homeowners, see testimonials from happy customers, and I hear they got a pretty good podcast, too. Check it out. Go to HarmonSolar.com. That's HarmonSolar.com.
Do you know about 211 Arizona? It's a free service to connect you with resources anywhere in Arizona. Housing assistance and eviction prevention, transportation and ride services, healthcare benefits, food resources, and even utility bill support. Talk to a live operator in English or Spanish, 24 hours a day, every day of the year. Just dial 211 or visit 211arizona.org. Get connected, get answers, and get the help you need. This message is sponsored by 211 Arizona.
This is Brent Musburger. Don't miss Betting Across America, Saturdays at 11 a.m. right here on Arizona Sports Betting Station, 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Welcome back to the Daily Blender as we're into the third segment of the first hour on today's show, heading for 6 o'clock tonight. Text line is buzzing, and looks like Brunswick guy says, glad to have Ralph on the show today. He's a true professional and knows about sports. So does Keon. Will you have Frank Vogel on the show today? No.
I don't think that anybody in this city is getting an interview with Frank Vogel.
No, I'm not.
Unless you're already his friend, which
not going to be on the show today. Yeah, no.
I like your insight, though.
He's Bruno Baller says it's already 7:30 a.m. on Friday in Japan. And
okay,
your point is what? Slow-mo Zoe says, Randy, I'm glad my Reds were able to help out your the Reds lost.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. By losing, he was able to help out.
No. The Reds had nothing to do with that.
They had a little bit.
They had a little bit to do with it on account
No.
Randy, they're the Reds.
No, I understand that. The Diamondbacks won. I'm not giving the Reds any credit here. What
Not the Reds' fault.
It's not the Reds' fault. Diamondbacks won. That's all I got to say. Taco Kenny says, Ralph, my Laker brother. Oh, my God. I may be sick.
Ralph, my Laker brother, what do you think about Monty Williams or Tyronn Lue as potential Laker coaches? Oh my God.
I've heard both those names. I've heard Monty's name more than Tyronn.
I
don't know. I mean, Monty, I think, is interesting. I'm not a big fan of his when he was at Phoenix. I think he could mesh interestingly with LeBron. That one interests me more than Tyronn Lue. I'm not a big fan of that one.
I like Ty Lue a lot.
I like him too.
I would like him for Phoenix. I just don't know if he's going to actually be available.
Can he come to Phoenix? Can he?
They gave him an extension in LA with the Clippers, so I just assumed.
Who the hell cares?
Well, they gave him and they gave Kid extensions because they knew the Lakers were going to probably go after both of them.
Yeah. And I think they should also worry about the Suns because I don't think Matt Ishbia really cares how much money he throws at a human being. So that's two teams with very deep pockets.
What do you think about Monty?
I mean, for LA,
You mean coming back to LA?
No, in LA.
Yeah, in LA. He's a better fit in LA because I think Monty wants his players to figure stuff out on the floor. Like, I really don't think Monty likes changing a whole lot. He makes little tweaks and adjustments, but it's not anything crazy. And sometimes you need something a little crazy when things aren't going your way, and he doesn't do that. But you know who else doesn't do that? LeBron. LeBron's not interested in all your little crazy plans. He wants to go out there and just play the game and honestly control the whole thing. And I don't think that Monty's a coach with a gigantic ego who would want to get in the way. Like it could actually work. That's not a bad
I think it's
a fit for them.
Yeah.
Fifth letter says Suns are going to be the first NBA team with a female head coach. Ha! Losers.
Yeah, they can hire Candace Parker.
I don't want.
Well, Becky. I would hire. Candace doesn't. She's never coached anything.
Well, she's got a job anyway.
Look, if Becky
retired,
comes
you know.
here to Phoenix, I have no problem with that.
Well, she's the president of Adidas Women's Basketball Council.
Good,
Becky Hammonds
or Candace Parker.
Candace Parker. That's a really good move for her.
Yeah.
She's not going to want to be Suns head coach.
She's not interested in coaching. It doesn't seem like
Adidas. And
well, they can hire Caitlin Clark as like a player coach.
No.
Okay.
No.
That was Neil's idea.
He's like,
Becky Hammonds will come here.
Of course, it was Neil's idea. That sounds exactly like one of Neil's ideas.
Right, absolutely.
Beat the Lakers every time they come to town. And
as a player coach, she's 22. What is she gonna
do? Beer Bob says, I don't see a first-time head coach working out with the big three here in Phoenix. I think it has to be established coach with a championship pedigree. Budenholzer would be good. A good fit, I believe. Hang on, let me take my glasses off. Oh my God, I can see. I just think a first-time coach or college coach would not be able to get through with these guys. That's what Beer Bob says.
I think it depends on the college coach, because if it's somebody who's had experience in the NBA before, knows how an NBA locker room works, you could probably get something there, but it would be tougher. I agree with a younger coach. And I think it has to be somebody that's done something. Like you can't just show up and start trying to tell Kevin Durant and Devin Booker what to do, and you don't have any pedigree at all.
Who's out there right now that could be somebody that's done something? Other than Bill Belichick, who could come in and coach this team?
And he hasn't done anything in this league. Like I do think that there is something to the idea of, bringing in somebody that has played in the league before that guys respect. Which is why Chauncey's name has come up. Which is why
Chauncey Billups, really?
Yeah. I'm not saying that's option one. I'm just saying his name has come up and he would fit the bill. Mike Budenholzer as a coach has done things in this league. So like that also applies too. It's got to be somebody who can command the respect of the locker room, because I didn't see it in this postseason. And that is deeply unfortunate. And I think that's like the worst part of what happened with Frank Vogel. Like we could talk about the lack of adjustments, and they were not there, but they weren't running his offense. Like what good is any of that?
I think you bring Phil Jackson back.
You
run the triangle.
He can't fly.
What?
His heart, by his own words, his heart won't allow him to fly.
You get him a bus. He could be like John
Madden.
That's not going to work in the NBA.
John Madden?
We have Tex Winter there to cover the games he can't make it to. He'll cover every other game.
What?
It could work.
It can't work.
He does all home
It's-
games.
It's okay.
All
so
home games and all
you know
West
you
Coast games.
play some games on the road too. You know.
Yeah, but you do the home games and the West Coast games. He can handle it. Tex Winter
Okay,
does
and
the
then
other
say
ones.
say you make it to the playoffs somehow, which I highly doubt because I don't think you can implement the triangle in one offseason and have it work.
You did it in LA.
So who were some
in
of
one offseason?
who were some of Phil Jackson's assistant coaches?
Tex Winter was his triangle guy. He had a bunch of different guys. I mean, he had Kurt Rambis at one point. Who else?
So who would
a lot
you
of ex-players? He used a lot of ex-players. I remember that.
what? So what would you suggest, Ralph?
About Bill Jackson?
Yeah, no.
Oh, about
Suns
a coach?
Suns coach. Yeah.
I think Keon's right on. I think you need to bring somebody in. Like, I think an ex-player is a really good idea to try to bring in that respect level. The guy that's been there, done that. I think it's a really good idea. I think what they're going to do, honestly, I think this guy is going to go out and spend way too much money, and he's going to bring in probably who we've just been talking about, Lazar. I think he's going to bring him in, and I think he's the wrong guy. But I think that's what this guy's going to do. This guy is just going to throw money at everything because that seems to be what he does. He just takes his checkbook, he writes a check, and he just throws it at the team, which is the wrong approach. So
Yeah, I just don't think basketball works that way.
it just doesn't. It just doesn't. But I think that's what he's going to do. He's going to overpay for somebody, just like he overpaid for Beal.
Bruno Baller says, is there a Steve Kerr disciple out there? Maybe somebody that coached under him for a while that could be head coach of the Suns?
Maybe you can talk Dave Robinson into coming out.
Really?
Doesn't he coach? No, he doesn't coach at all, does he? David Robinson?
No.
Kiss to Cook says, Coach K. Coach K.
No, he's done. He's done coaching.
Been done for years.
He was putting up with college players and all of their crap. You think he's going to come to the NBA and then have to try and coach three guys worth $150 million collectively? I don't think he wants to even have that headache.
No.
That's no.
Or four.
He could bring all those rings with him.
He could, and they'd listen to him. But is that really?
Who about Paul Westphal?
Yeah, there's a problem with that.
See that?
Slow Mo Zo says, what about a coach from overseas?
That would be interesting.
It could, but again, there's a respect factor there, and like the European coaches are getting more respect than they used to. But we've seen guys, European coaches, be in this league before, and it was seconds, moments. The team instantly didn't like them, and then you're moving on in the middle of the season. Like, one of the reasons why the Suns ended up going with Frank Vogel as coach is because by the time Matt Ishbia got control of the team and wanted to get another coach, there weren't a ton of options left. So, like, now you're starting earlier in the offseason. You can go through the full process of it. I don't think that you necessarily need to reach over to Europe. Are there guys that are qualified? Sure. But we're talking about a very specific situation with superstars that play in the NBA and have, a certain familiarity with this league. And if that coach shows up and maybe needs a little bit of time to get acclimated, I don't know that this is the team for that.
How about somebody like JJ Redick? I've been hearing that for the Lakers a lot.
I like JJ. He just doesn't have coaching experience, which isn't like an immediate disqualifier, but just because we've seen guys not have a ton of experience, like Jason Kidd got hired and didn't really have any experience when the Nets originally hired him. But if you put a good coaching staff around that guy to make up for his lack of experience while he's trying to figure things out, it could work. And then he would still, a guy like JJ, because he is so smart and knowledgeable, and because people genuinely saw what he did as a shooter in the NBA. Like, everybody knows that JJ knows the game.
Yeah.
So King of Kittens says it's 5:30 somewhere. Beer me, Rando. Well, I mean, that's not really on topic, but okay. All right, there you go. Fifth letter says, oh my God, I may barf in my mouth. I'm sorry. Fifth letter with some more ass kissing for Ralph here.
Well, because fifth letter's a Laker fan, so.
Ralph, my Laker and Trojans brother.
Yes.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
That's a hell of a start.
Two good things. Beautiful text.
Cheers to those teams. Burning hell, Dodgers. Best team in baseball. Still,
What?
October comes. Go Halos.
Go Halos.
Yeah.
Okay,
You said-
block him.
What do you mean block him?
All the brotherhood ended right
It
there.
Ended right there.
Burning hell, Dodgers.
Burning hell, Dodgers.
Pretty sure that's what he said.
Burning hell, Dodgers.
Yeah, that's what he said. Oh my God. There you go.
We got the full cut.
Uh,
That was good. No, believe the Halos. They're horrible. The Halos. Get out of here. Go back to Orange County.
Maybe you didn't hear this the first time. So.
Burning hell, Dodgers.
There you go.
Burning hell, Dodgers.
There it is. Right
I
there.
honestly think you guys are. I think the Dodgers might win the next 3-4 World Series. They're going to be that good. So
Mm.
Burning
used to it.
hell, Dodgers.
Sorry.
Burning hell, Dodgers.
How did that happen? I don't know how that happened. I don't know.
Just saying.
All right. So
The Dodgers could take the guys that don't start and put them on another team and still be better than most MLB teams right now. That's how much talent they have.
I don't know why.
Burning hell, Dodgers.
I don't know why that keeps going. I don't know why.
I kind of
that
like
happens.
it, to be honest with you.
Do you really?
Burning hell, Dodgers.
There you go.
Burning hell, Dodgers.
No, Fish Tank.
Fish Tank is
with
talented,
that.
man.
He's a talented guy. That's
Oh,
a-
no kidding. Yeah.
He released a new song today too. I saw that on Spotify.
Fish Tank did?
Yeah, his band.
We
released
don't
their first
have
thing.
it. What's going on?
They
here?
just released it. I saw it
What?
on Twitter. Yeah, this guy, he's a talented dude. I don't think it was called Burn in Hell Lakers or Dodgers, though. I'll tell you that much.
I think it was. Some bird.
He
in
should
hell,
put that on
LA, something.
Spotify.
Bruno Baller says, didn't the Suns try that with Igor a couple of years ago and lasted one season? No, I think Igor was here. Keon, was he like 2 or 3 seasons? Igor Kakashmanov, or what was his name? Cosmonaut. What the hell was his name? What was his name?
Kokoshkov.
There it is. See, I told you.
that was a coach.
Kakashmanov.
That was the coach.
That's what I told you.
Very brief.
Wasn't he
Well,
2
no.
years though? Was it 3?
Yeah, I mean, he was.
Bruno
he
Baller
was here as
says
an
it was
assistant for a
only
while.
1 year.
Yeah.
So
He was here as an
Kakash-
assistant for a while, and then had-
Kakashmanov
got his
right?
turn at
That
head
guy?
coach, and that was it.
What?
I don't remember him at all.
Hmm.
Was it really bad?
He didn't win
Yeah.
a championship, so
Well,
No,
no one
not
has for
only
him.
did he not win a championship game, he didn't win 20 games.
You can say that about any
Uh,
Suns coach. So.
He did not win 20 games.
Wow.
Got to 19, and that was the ceiling.
Bye-bye.
he didn't have KD either. So
He gone.
He
I
gone.
don't keep-
I
He
mean,
would have won 20.
All right. So in case you're just kind of catching up, the Phoenix Suns have dismissed coach Frank Vogel. The Suns, who won 49 regular season games with the league's third highest payroll and tax, were swept in the opening round into Timberwolves. Mike Budenholzer will be prominent part of search. That according to Adrian Wojnarowski.
the old Woj. The Woj bomb.
Wojnarowski. You can't say Wojnarowski.
Just say Woj.
Look, that's
You
his
gotta say-
nickname. Well, I didn't choose the
Wojnarowski.
pronunciation of his nickname.
I
That's
guess
just-
it would be Woj. I guess
Woj.
maybe. Your Suns are without a coach, and we'll see what happens. That's hour 1 in the books. Hour 2 right around the corner, and we've got a lot to talk about. And of course, your text. Oh my God! Look at that! Oh geez. Jalen Brunson last night. I mean, not even Ralph can say anything about Jalen Brunson. Also, the Pacers. Holy mackerel! They're filing complaints about officials. Can we do that in baseball? Is
You
that?
should be able to.
I think so. And then there was Netflix. Can they end up with the Christmas Day games? I have a feeling, maybe.
We'll talk about that around the corner as we go to hour 2 of the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Hey guys, don't be that dad without life insurance. When thanks to Ethos, you can be that great dad with life insurance to help keep his family living exactly like they do now, secure and protected in the event of the unexpected. With a fast and easy online experience, some policies as low as $1 a day and up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam, just a few health questions. Ethos makes getting life insurance protection hassle-free. E for easy, E for Ethos at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
O'Reilly.
Improve visibility and save $8 instantly when you pick up a new pair of Bosch Icon wiper blades in-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Bosch Icon wiper blades have up to a 40% longer life than other premium wiper blades. The professional parts people will even install them for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey guys, Jeffrey O'Brien here. Did you know Harman Solar has gone super high tech? There's an amazing tool at harmansolar.com that'll give you an instant ballpark solar estimate using satellites from space. You just type in a little information, and within seconds, you'll have an idea of just how little money it takes to save big on that monthly electric bill. I did it, and within seconds, they measured my roof and calculated my savings. It's very impressive. Go to harmansolar.com and give it a try yourself. That's harmansolar.com.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. And look at you, hands perfectly placed on the wheel, not like the driver to the right of you who's really going after that drum solo. Save with DriveWise in the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
We all know driving hammered gets you nailed, but did you also know driving high is a DUI? I'm Officer Badalucco with the Gilbert Police Department. Anything that impairs your driving makes you dangerous on the road. If you feel different, you drive different, and driving high is illegal. Be smart with marijuana use. Get the facts at drivinghighaz.com and spread the word with #HighDUI. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Going to college and not acquiring debt is possible with the help of the U.S. Army. You'll be able to choose the career you want and receive help to pay for your full tuition. There are also reimbursements for student loans and GI Bill benefits. In the U.S. Army, your mission will be to learn. Learn how you can be all you can be at goarmy.com/AIA Sports. That's goarmy.com/AIA Sports.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K24EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
It's the Daily Blender, hour 2 on this Thursday, as we are broadcasting live from the Harman Solar Studios, beautiful uptown Scottsdale. My name is Randy White. You are the fourth dimension, texting in at 888-368-1580. Right over there, the sexiest man of Sports Talk Radio, that's Keon Rose. Next to him, Ralph Romano from Harman Solar. Are you ready for solar? We can hook you up today. Let's see. Let's go to the text line, 888-368-1580 as the fourth dimension texting in. And remember, we have like an international text line, Ralph. I don't know if you have that on the Weekend Warriors.
We do. I have to sit there and translate.
You have an international text line?
Yep.
So from Hawaii, the Cards Chappie text in and says, Army chaplain here watching people walk by my door hearing Burn in Hell Dodgers blasting from the office. So we have corrupted an Army chaplain and probably a good portion of the Army there in Hawaii.
Probably not a good look for him.
Well, I just want you to know we're kicking ass and taking names in the Army.
ladies and gentlemen. Slow-Mo Zoe says, has there ever been a player coach in the NBA? Ralph, do you remember of any?
I would think back in the old days there probably was.
Wasn't Bill Russell player coach?
Yeah, he was.
Bill Russell?
Yeah,
he was a player coach?
I believe so.
I would bet money on it.
I think the ABA had
Really?
player coaches too.
Okay. All right. Well, we know about the what was it? The Miami Sun. What was
the Tropics?
No, Tropics. There we go. The Tropics.
I remember that movie
with the bear that got loose in the stadium.
Bill Russell was a player coach from 1966 to 1969.
No kidding.
And they won 2 titles because he's Bill Russell.
Well, that's
Magic was a player coach, just nobody knew about it.
Well, that's they had a coach, but he was like the face.
Yeah, he didn't do much.
He wasn't the actual coach.
He just sat there and looked pretty.
Fifth letter says, Ralph, I would agree with you on that. Your Rancho Cucamonga Quakes would bet the Halos right now. Artie Moreno needs to disappear. What the hell?
I love the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. That's Dodgers low A team. So
they're single A or
they're low A. So Ranchos are low A and Great Lakes is their high A.
Rancho Cucamonga?
Yeah, the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, and they play at the Epicenter. Very cool.
It's a nice little town too.
Yeah, it is a really cool little town. But yeah, I think they could beat the Halos right now.
Look, man, if I'm playing baseball, I don't want to play at the Epicenter for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes.
You do. It's an awesome little place.
Can you imagine? You're standing at home plate, you hit a home run, and all of a sudden there's like an earthquake.
That'd be epic.
Can you imagine that story?
That'd be epic. I would love that.
You hit a home run and you start down the first base line, and all of a sudden, and the stadium like disintegrates, and people are everywhere and they're running crazy. And it's all because you hit a home run.
It's kind of like Marshawn Lynch when he had the Beastquake.
That's true.
Earthquake.
That registered on the Richter scale.
Yeah.
Bruno Baller says that would be interesting to see the head coach that beat the Suns in the finals a few years ago become their head coach. Why would that be interesting?
I mean, it would be like a funny piece of trivia, I guess.
No.
I mean, it would be. Like literally, you could ask it on a game show.
No. I'm going to tell you right now. When Jeffrey comes back, he's going to hate that.
Well, who cares what he thinks?
Yeah, but I'm not talking about whether or not it's a good thing. I'm saying it would be a piece of trivia that would be funny.
He's not like that one bit.
That's going to be like a Jeopardy question in 20 years. That's all I'm saying. It's okay. I don't think Jeffrey actually watches Jeopardy, so it's all good.
So Ringless Joe wants to talk about NBA awards, which I think are a joke. I think the NBA is a joke anyway. The draft and all that. But anyway, Ringless Joe says SGA got robbed of the MVP. Jokic is a fraud, and I can't wait to see that team get swept this weekend. The pundits really had people believing this was the next NBA dynasty. What a joke.
Did you see Shaq's interview with Jokic?
I did not see that.
He actually said to him, he goes, I think SGA should have won the MVP, but that's just my opinion. And then he started talking to him.
Well, yeah. I mean, Shaq doesn't.
He doesn't hold back. I love that.
Shaq does actually have a filter, but he doesn't ever mince words. If he wants to say it, he's saying it.
And he said it.
But yeah, and then Jokic is not the kind of guy that would get offended by it either. So it's So like, and I think SGA should have won it too. The NBA, I feel like the MVP award is a bizarre award in the NBA in particular because it's unclear what the award actually means. And so you could give it to guys based on.
What do you mean it's unclear? What does that mean?
Are we talking about who the best player is in basketball, regardless of what the rest of their team does? Or are we talking about the best player on the best team? Because different writers will vote differently. And because the parameters aren't particularly clear, they make these kind of odd decisions. I don't think that this was like the Jokic year. This isn't his best year of any of the other ones he's been up for MVP. It's a little too far to call him a fraud, though.
So you have my vote for next NBA commissioner. Keon Rose, ladies and gentlemen.
First of all, why are writers voting?
That's a great question.
It should be players.
It should be players, or at
Coach.
least
Thank
some
you.
combination of the bunch. Because it's like
Players. Thank you.
Players and coaches.
But like some of the people that I know that I can't, I'm not going to put out there, but there are people who have the ability to vote that I'm like, you don't know anything. You know, like, and think of a talking head on TV. There's definitely
what are you talking about, Stephen
a couple of them.
Come on.
I mean,
tell us.
I mean, look, Steven's odd to me because
Come
it's
on.
like I'm not sure Stephen A. actually watches every game.
Stephen
anymore.
A. Smith.
So that's kind
Do
of
you
sad.
know him? Do you
yeah,
know him?
but there was a point where I like Stephen A.'s opinion
know
on
him?
basketball mattered. I do not
So
know
do you
Stephen
call
A.
him up and
personally.
go,
No,
Stephen A. What the hell are you doing?
No, nothing like that. But like you just don't. You got guys who don't watch all of these games,
think
or they
Ralph
watch games
knows
that are
Stephen A.
You know,
Ralph,
if
do you know
a bunch of
Stephen
East
A?
Coast guys that'll vote.
You do?
Sure.
Well,
We're buddies.
But you
you're
know, they're
not either. Come on, give me a break.
I never said Stephen A. was
Stephen
my buddy,
Adams.
just
I
to
know
be
a guy
clear.
named
But
Stephen Adams. We're buddies.
probably not the
Stephen A.
Stephen Adams that
Stephen
comes to
Adams,
mind.
one of the Adams family.
No, but he's a.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
But you're right. Media should have no business voting because they don't. Most of them don't have a clue.
Yeah, like all the if you could just remove even all the East Coast guys that don't stay awake for Western Conference games, you'd remove like half the problem.
Well, Stephen A. He comes to Western Conference games.
He does, and that's
Him
honestly,
and
He doesn't watch them, but
yeah, or
Michael Wilbon.
I mean, I was listening to Stephen A. be incredibly wrong about his own team earlier this year. He's a
What's
big
his
Knicks
team?
fan. He's a big
Just-
Knicks fan. And he was
Oh, no
talking about
kidding.
how important Isaiah Hartenstein was for the team. Isaiah Hartenstein hadn't played in almost a month. What are you talking about?
Randy, to put it in perspective, if you're going to let Stephen A. vote, then let's give Neil a vote.
Oh no,
Because I
No,
feel
no.
that's the same level.
Oh no, no.
I think that Neil would be so self-conscious about being wrong. He might actually do a little research.
No,
Neil might be an
no.
upgrade.
Oh my
It-
god,
it's-
no.
it's-
He did research for the draft show. We saw it that day.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
it- well,
God.
it-
he
it- it
might
didn't-
have done research, but he didn't share it with the rest of us.
Well, that's
Oh
the thing. Is
my
that
God.
apparently Neil is easily scared by one Jeffrey O'Brien. So I don't even know what to make of that.
Makes no sense.
It's like unless I have screwed something up, I actually can't think of any reason to be afraid of Jeffrey. He's not coming
just don't-
after
just
people.
don't look directly at him and you're okay.
If you don't look Neil in the eyes, he's all right.
Neil was acting like if he moved, Jeffrey might ignore him like a T-Rex in Jurassic Park. Like it was just
Oh my
what is
God.
happening?
And you know what's funny, and you guys know this. Jeffrey's the nicest guy. He's really not. He's not a hard ass, and for Neil to be intimidated by him,
Tells you everything you need to know about Neil.
that's funny.
But when you vote, you can send that ballot in alone, and as long as you keep Neil away from Jeffrey, you might actually get a decent vote.
Well,
Otherwise,
See,
he'd be
I think-
shaking
I
as he
think-
was doing it.
Yeah,
I think the three of you, I think Jeffrey, Ralph, Keon, should all have votes in not only basketball, football, but also baseball. Because oh my God, did they get it wrong every year?
I would like to have a
God.
baseball vote. I'll leave the NBA to Keon.
yeah, and I'll stay out of baseball because I don't know that I can.
Oh
accurately-
my
And we can
God.
all do football.
Yeah, but like when you look at the Jokic stuff, the thing that's crazy to me is where the voters decide to draw the line at a player that they like versus a player that they don't like. And I think that a lot of the modern voters, if we're honest, are very statistically oriented, like extra analytics driven. And Jokic on those numbers, there's nothing like him in advanced stats. But
So are you looking at stats to be the NBA?
that's what I'm saying. I don't think
MVP.
I think you should factor it in, but I don't think it should be the only factor. And I would argue it shouldn't even be the biggest factor, because if you looked at advanced numbers and those numbers told you for whatever reason that Jordan shouldn't have won more MVPs, if those numbers told you that LeBron shouldn't have more, like LeBron should have won the MVP for like 10 years straight at a certain point in his career, and he just didn't win it. And Why? I don't know. I know the James Harden year that he lost to James Harden, that was advanced stats. That was an analytics vote. And it just feels the same way with Jokic this year, where it's an analytics vote for Jokic because of all of the stuff that he does that all the advanced metrics like. And then you kind of overlook a guy like SGA, who anytime the Thunder needed Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to go get a bucket, he did. And it was without fail on a team that's really young. He did it against some really good defenders and quality opponents. I don't like the vote either.
But the MVP is a media popularity contest. Is all it is.
It's more useless than the Grammys.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Every sport, every year in the NFL, they pick this team, they pick these players that they're just going to ride like a horse all year, and they do it, right? Because that's all they'll ever talk about. They'll pick a team and they'll do nothing but talk about how great they are. They'll pick a player and they'll ride that player the whole season. And sometimes you'll sit there and shake your head and go, what are you guys talking about? There's all these other guys that are so much better, but they're going to focus on this one guy. And at the end of the day, it's the popularity contest that gets the award. That's how it works. It's been going like that for years. I hate those awards.
And I think it's just getting worse. Like, I feel like the voters are less informed now than they were even 10 years ago.
So, Keon, do you think that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander should have won the MVP this year?
Yep. How
about you, Ralph?
Absolutely. Been on the bandwagon since about the All-Star break.
You guys don't think there's anybody else in the NBA that deserves the MVP?
Not this year.
I think he was the best player.
Just like Anthony Davis should have been Defensive Player of the Year. Those are things that should have happened that never happened.
Yeah, and Anthony Davis not being a
best
finalist
defensive player by far
is like, okay, this award's just a joke.
And it wasn't even close.
What about Jalen Brunson?
I don't think that Jalen Brunson's the MVP.
He's a good player.
No, he's elevating himself right now.
You don't think he's the MVP?
No,
maybe for the Nets.
No, he's really good, and he's elevating his game in the playoffs right now in a way that I'm genuinely impressed by the guy.
Now?
Yeah, he's been good all year, but he wasn't MVP all year.
Oh my!
I watched a lot of Knick games. He was great, but he wasn't better than SGA. Not even close.
Got to tell you, all-star guard Jalen Brunson returned from an injury in the second half of last night's game against the Pacers, and he helped them. He gave the Knicks the necessary lift and helped them to a 131-21 victory, and now a 2-0 series lead. Heading back to Indianapolis to take on the Pacers. The Knicks are playing some basketball. They're playing some ball, and that's due to their leader. In my thinking, Jalen Brunson. I mean, when he went down last night in the first half, and he came back after into the second half. Oh, you could see a change with the Knicks. So you're telling me that this year Jalen Brunson is not the MVP?
Jalen Brunson is not the regular season MVP. No.
Oh my God.
No, he's not.
He could be the MVP for that team.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he's the MVP of the league.
I'm not I can't. No.
A guy that lifts his team in the second half.
A lot of guys do that.
Yeah, but a lot of the guys who are MVP candidates do that. Yeah. I mean, look at what SGA is doing in Oklahoma City right now. I mean, he's not the only guy in the playoffs that can do that.
I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens with these teams, with the Oklahoma City and the Knicks. But wow, for me, Jalen Brunson's the MVP. But we'll wait and see
of the whole league.
Well, I mean, this guy.
I mean, I like him. I do, and he's really, really good. I don't know that he is most valuable player in the National Basketball Association through the 82 games that I watched.
What is your definition of a most valuable player?
I think it's somebody that is able to score the basketball very easily and can affect both ends of the floor, which I would not accuse Jalen Brunson of doing. He is innocent of playing defense. And I just think that when you have, and also just to me, like I also gauge on how I like the way the person plays. Okay. And Jalen Brunson is, again, really good basketball player, and it's going to sound like I'm dissing him, and I'm not. But he is.
I don't think you're dissing him.
He is on the fringes of playing like James Harden, where there's a lot of throwing your head back. It's a lot of flailing around to try and get calls, and
So Ralph,
I just don't like that.
Ralph, do you feel the same way?
I do. I really do. I think he's the best player on his team. I think he's the MVP of his team. I really do. I think he does what you just said. He lifts that team up. He makes them better. But he's not the best player in the league.
Wouldn't that be the definition though of an MVP?
Of a team MVP? Yeah, not league MVP.
But the thing you're saying about Jalen Brunson, you could say about Luka. I thought Luka was better this year.
So explain to me. I'm sorry. Just explain to me how SGA is better than Jalen Brunson. Explain to me what is the difference?
That if you were watching the Thunder play and SGA got hurt, the Thunder would not be as good a team. And if he came back out and lifted the Thunder up, he would be doing the same thing that Jalen Brunson's doing, except now he plays defense too. Brunson's not a good defender.
Night, though? Isn't it?
But you're looking at you're saying that Brunson did it. SGA didn't even get hurt. He doesn't get hurt. He's much younger. He doesn't get hurt. So like we're comparing a heroic thing that Brunson did to SGA just walked in, murdered the Dallas Mavericks and left, and it was another day at the office. So he's not going to get credit for that because he was so much more dominant. It wasn't even close.
What was his defensive numbers?
Off the top of my head, I don't know what his defensive numbers were. But like it's not all numbers. Like and this is why voters I think have to watch the games, right? Because if you watch the guy play defense and he stops his opposing player from going to the basket, you got to give him credit for that. Meanwhile, Jalen Brunson is a turnstile. Like that. He's 6'1". He gets bullied a lot.
What was his numbers last night, Jalen Brunson?
What do you have? 29 points.
Yeah, he had a 29-point game.
Wait, let me ask Ralph. You go ahead and look those up. Hey, Ralph, what was Jalen Brunson's numbers last night?
I think he had 29 points.
And what was his defensive numbers?
I have to look. I don't know.
You have to look.
Oh, both you guys.
He had 3 steals, but but no, Randy. This is quite frankly a ridiculous conversation in large part because we're going to do counting stat defensive numbers. Look at the guy play defense. Can he play defense when you watch him with your eyes? Can he play it? Jalen Brunson gets hidden all the time. They switch to hide him because the teams want to target him when they have the ball.
Look at it this way, Rand. You could even look at it this way. Look at Jokic. I mean, you take him off of Denver, they don't have a chance. Not at all, right?
So do the Knicks have a chance without Brunson?
I think
they were in the game before he came back.
You think so?
Yeah.
But he left.
I think Jokic is more valuable to the Denver Nuggets than Brunson is to the Knicks. Absolutely.
But not SGA.
Well, I'm just giving you the example of the guy who won, right? He's way more valuable to his team than Brunson is to the Knicks.
And we already saw SGA got hurt earlier in his career. We already saw what the Thunder looked like without him. They got the number 1 overall pick again. SGA is that guy. And I'm just saying because I've watched him, and I'm not just going to do the how many steals did he have in this one game versus how many numbers we just talked about the stat guys. So I'm not going to do that. I watched them both play. I think SGA is the more valuable player.
All right. Listen, I respect that. And that's all right. That's all right.
And look, it's not like Jalen Brunson's not in the conversation. I'm not saying that.
Jalen Brunson is a damn man. That's all I got to say. This guy continues to get hurt and come back in the game and go back in the game and continue playing for his team. And he has led the Knicks, in my opinion, he's led the Knicks, and they have been the underdogs. And Jalen Brunson keeps coming in.
They're the 2 seed. They're not exactly.
Well, it might be the 2 seed now, but I'm just telling you.
Let's see how he does against the Celtics.
If Jalen Brunson is not in the game, do the Knicks have a chance?
In this series?
Yes. I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it's I think they do.
My God,
it's not like he got
against
hurt.
Indiana? Oh, come on.
We know this because in the game last night when Indiana got the lead without Brunson on the floor, it's not like they were blowing them out.
Indiana is the in-season tournament losers. You know this.
All right. Okay. All right. Oh my God.
They are the in-season tournament losers, Randy. We know Indiana's got issues.
Fan. Oh my God. Okay.
I thought we were talking awards. I thought we were talking in-season tournament champions.
No, we're talking MVP, Ralph.
In-season tournament MVP.
Oh my God. Okay.
What's going on here?
Listen, Listen, we're going to continue to talk NBA here in just a moment. We got to take a break. When we come back, more NBA talk. And Ralph and Keon are going to think about this while we're in break. And we'll come back and talk about it more. It's the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Chris Christopherson. Before they were legends, they were lost souls looking for their sound. Want to be a songwriter?
Not Willie. You are a songwriter.
Discover the true, untold story of Sue Brewer, the extraordinary woman behind outlaw country music, starring Mandy Moore and featuring T.J. Osborne.
They call it the Boar's Nest. It's just my apartment, but you never know who'll show up.
In a new scripted Audible original.
Any advice?
Yeah, distill something whiskey can't.
The Boar's Nest, Sue Brewer and the birth of outlaw country music. Listen on Audible.
Need a boost in capital or a flexible line of credit for your growing business? Hi, I'm Dylan Cohen at JR Capital. I can help you get the money you need fast. The process is a breeze with a simple application and same-day approvals. No more waiting, no more hassle. Just a straightforward path to securing the funds you need, faster and easier than asking your banker. So call me, Dylan Cohen, at 602-834-7353. That's 602-834-7353. Or visit moneyradio.com and click on Finance with Dylan.
With the first pick. Now that the draft is in the books, it's that time of the season when the team gets together, to get acquainted. Summer means minicamp, OTAs, then preseason. Keep yourself tuned to the station with all the insight, updates, and breaking news you need to know about the NFL offseason. If it's the NFL, we talk about it. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Welcome back to the Daily Blender. You're listening here on 1580 The Fanatic, live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale, joined by Ralph Romano. We've got Randy White. We were talking some NBA basketball, and we shall continue to do so. Randy, was there something that you wanted us to reconsider at the
We
break?
really should stop talking about this.
Well, no, I thought you guys would think about this for a minute, and
we have.
And
nothing's changed.
and we have come down in the same spot, which is Jalen Brunson. Really good MVP conversation. Just not
should be
my,
MVP
not-
in my mind.
I'm starting to like him less right now, actually.
I don't know how you guys could go SGA. I mean, listen, great
Because I
basketball player. Great basketball player. Great. Does he make that team go, though?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
He very much is the best player on that team.
Makes that
All
number
right.
one seed go. Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Bruno Baller says on the text line to 888-368-1580, it looks like the NBA East is headed for a Knicks versus Celtics final. What do you think about that?
the NBA would love that. That's what I think about that.
A Knicks Celtics final?
I mean, that's an
Eastern Conference
old
final,
school
yeah.
rivalry.
I
Those
mean,
two
what do you
teams-
think about that, though?
I mean, I'd be pulling for the Knicks, obviously, because I hate the Celtics, but I think the Celtics would actually come out of that and win. that.
I think the Knicks are the perfect team to test what the Celtics are, because
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of the Celtics.
You think the
sometimes.
Knicks are?
They are.
What about Oklahoma City? I mean,
yeah, but that would be a finals matchup.
Your MVP
With-
is on that team,
We're-
isn't he?
yeah, sure, and we can
I'm just asking.
we can get to that point when we're talking finals. I'm just talking Eastern Conference Finals.
Yes,
that's the first team. I
Don't
think.
you want Oklahoma City to face the Celtics?
I mean, I'm rooting for Oklahoma City. Honestly, I mean,
I don't know if they can get
I
past
like
Minnesota.
I like yeah, and a lot of people are counting them out though. Is the thing? It's
They
just
shouldn't.
the Oklahoma City Thunder are winning so easily that I think people are forgetting how good they are. They are cruising through the playoffs right
Well, they're
now.
ignoring them because they're so focused on Minnesota because what Minnesota's doing is ridiculous. Right?
Yeah, and I think Minnesota's the
great.
more shocking
Great
team of
ball.
the two teams. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Minnesota.
So what
but
about
I don't think
Anthony
I'm handing
Edwards
it
as
to
MVP? What about him?
no.
Look
I
what he's
think-
done with this Minnesota team.
Yeah, if he did that during the regular season, he'd be holding the award. He's doing it now. He's not doing it for it's a regular season award. They don't give it to you for the playoffs. If you want an MVP for your postseason, go to the finals, be the best player in the finals, win the finals, you'll be
In the
finals
finals,
MVP.
that's not what no.
Correct.
They talk about the MVP for the regular season.
Correct. And I'm saying if you want to win in the postseason, that's how you do it. So I'm not looking at Anthony Edwards and what he's done with the Wolves.
In the regular season?
In the regular season, Anthony Edwards was not the best player in basketball.
Oh,
Absolutely not. I can tell you. He wasn't.
God.
He wasn't in the in-season. He didn't win the in-season tournament, Randy.
Well,
he wasn't
that's
good.
a boy. That's not,
here we go.
You gotta
Ralph
use that as a
and his
measure.
Lakers.
That's not where I was going with
Ralph,
that at all.
The
stop
measure
it
you
with
have
your
to use.
in-season tournament.
Now, if he would have won that, then we could talk
Garbage.
about him. But he didn't get
Oh
that.
my God. Okay.
Anthony Edwards will be in the MVP discussion next season if he takes if he takes what he's doing in the postseason.
Should be this year.
He should not. No, he did not play in the regular season like he is playing right now.
These
Playoff
guys got
MVP.
it. These guys got it wrong.
He
He's
could
not.
be NBA Finals MVP if he keeps doing this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ringless Joe at 888-368-1580 says, I 100% agree with Ralph. The media this season has ridden the Celtics and the Nuggets like a rough rider, despite other teams being clearly better.
Well, I'm not going to say clearly.
I don't know when Ralph said that.
I don't know what
think they've
Western
given-
Conference you watched that you thought.
I don't know.
They haven't given the respect to the Thunder
Yeah.
or the Timberwolves the way they have to Denver. I agree with that. And the Celtics, they've been riding all year.
That's
All
true,
right.
and I think
All
that
right.
there are teams in the Eastern Conference that were really good
Yeah,
that
I
just
agree.
kind of got ignored along
Yeah,
the way.
The media, that's what they do.
So it's kind of like there's a narrative and they've got to stick with it. But when you look at what the Nuggets have done, it's not like they were hyping them up for no reason. There were reasons.
Sun Devil Raul, who clearly doesn't like me, says, assume you guys heard Suns coach fired. They guy we are going to hire, Budenholzer, is from Holbrook.
Okay.
Take it. He's saying the guy we're going to hire is from Holbrook, Arizona.
Okay. I mean, I don't.
And that
does
means
it
something?
matter where he's from?
He doesn't like you because of that?
Like being in Arizona,
No,
guys.
he doesn't like me. You weren't here yesterday, Ralph.
Oh,
so
okay.
where he said I can't decipher texts
Oh,
like Jeffrey.
how nice
Jeffrey
of him.
clearly better at deciphering text.
Though
and
part of it too is that
clearly better than me.
if
Clearly.
here's what you need to know about Jeffrey. If Jeffrey can't decipher your text, he just won't read it.
Yeah,
So,
that's
so
true.
it's like so you don't get to see any of Jeffrey's misses because he doesn't give a rip. So
I mean,
and B,
Keon-
he just ain't reading it.
Keon will back me up. I have a deciphered text on this program.
Randy
and
has
I have done my best. Where Jeffrey would just say, "Oh hell no."
Randy has
No.
many times given air to texts.
Yeah.
I would never have tried to read. I would look at that and I would go, that is
And I
not
look
English.
at him, and I'm just trying to like, ooh, what are they trying to say here?
And Google Translate doesn't know what language that is either. And then
that's
we
true.
move right along. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know,
I
maybe-
didn't have much time to listen this week, and I only heard one segment. And of course, you guys were talking about me, and that's all I heard.
What?
I don't remember
you
what
guys
context.
you
but
guys were talking about.
Do you
how
have
many-
some sort of like signal on your radio when we're talking about you? You tune in. Then
It's weird. I popped in, and all of a sudden, I hear bad things about me, and it was because
Who'd you
guys,
hear that from?
From
Who
you.
did you?
and
From
and
me?
and Keon. You guys
From
were
me?
Yeah, you guys were talking about how many titles people's
Oh
teams
my
have won, and
God.
you added them up. Do you remember that?
yeah,
in the four major
I do
sports?
remember that. I actually
See,
think that
Keon
there's
does.
actually a floodlight on top of
Oh my
the local
God.
police station, and when you turn that switch on, it's the Weekend Warriors logo shining into the sky, and then Ralph knows to tune in because
Yeah.
we're talking
Oh,
about it.
I better tune
That's
in
how,
right
yeah,
now.
that's how it happens.
I was just completely disrespected. And I was like, whatever. My teams have 18 titles. I have more than anybody, but yet I'm the bad guy. So okay. But I heard
I
you.
thought you had like 20 titles, and I'm
No.
sorry.
It's like 18.
It's like, yeah, no. we're just
I
ribbing
don't
you.
remember a
Oh,
time
I
when
do.
when
We're
I
just busting your
badmouthed
chops.
you on this radio program.
Oh, I do.
Well,
That segment.
what segment?
Where you started talking about I have all these teams, and Keon started talking about some kind of theory.
I think you're mistaking me with Jeffrey. A lot of times people think when Jeffrey's saying something, that's me. And vice versa. When
Yeah, I
I'm
don't-
saying something, that's Jeffrey.
I don't think that.
What?
I'm just saying. And Keon, clearly, I
Man
don't think is either you or
alive.
Jeffrey. So.
Yeah, no, I don't sound like
Man
anybody else.
alive.
So that's just I
I'm just saying.
gotta own the stuff I say.
That's the only thing I
haven't-
noticed. It's the only thing
I
I noticed
haven't-
this week. Other than that, the only other thing I noticed was that Ralph has crabs has not texted in a long time. But I'm good with that.
Well, that's true. I think
fortunately he's a
name-
Canadian, so you don't
I
have to
think his name
necessarily.
changed, didn't it?
Did
It's
he change his name?
No longer Ralph has crabs.
I don't
else.
remember. Don't recall.
Anyway, let's see here. Hurry Harry says, Randy, consistency matters as well when it comes to MVP. Consistency matters as well when it comes to MVP.
Sure.
What the hell does that mean?
He's saying being able to do it night in and night out over the course of the whole season.
So you're saying SGA did that night in and night out?
He did.
For the most part.
All right.
I mean, and part of it what that helps him is that he's younger. So,
Why are the Knicks fans chanting MVP every time Brunson gets the ball?
Because they're Knicks fans.
they're Knicks fans and he's the best player on their team.
I'm just asking.
They're not
Just
exactly unbiased, you know.
Let's see here. Average Joe says SGA averaged 2.0 steals and 0.9 blocks per game. Jalen averaged 0.9 steals and 0.2 blocks. The hell does that mean?
So less of each, basically.
It means SGA's numbers were better. Okay.
And that's
we know that.
And
Oily Stool says it sounds like Randy White's the president of the Jalen Brunson fan club. Okay. I mean, if that's the way you're going to go with it, okay.
I feel like you're getting a kickback or something.
Sure. Listen, Jalen and I are like this right here. Okay. This. Yeah.
I'm not sure what that is.
We're like this. Some people are like this.
Oh.
They're
like putting your
they're
hands
like
up in
not even connected at all.
Oh,
Just-
you didn't see it. Okay, I'm sorry. This. Brunswick guy says, I'm sorry, State Street Brat says, I don't really watch the NBA. Who is the SGA guys you're talking about? That's Gilgeous Alexander. What's his name?
Shea Gilgeous Alexander.
Shea Gilgeous Alexander.
And
So-
an awesome basketball player. One of the up and coming
You're
young
not allowed
stars
to do
in the
that,
league.
man. Just give the name. Move on. That's it.
Okay, well, he asked
Boar's
who.
Nest Brunswick guy, that Boar's Nest movie, it sounded like it would be a favorite of Jeffrey O'Brien's if it's about outlaw country music. No. Jeffrey hates country music. And I'm going to warn you, Brunswick guy, don't ever come in here again on this text line, especially if Jeffrey's here, and say anything about country music. I'm just going to warn you.
Wow.
You talk about MVP, you will be blocked VP, blocked valuable player. You will be absolutely cast out into the outer darkness. Sun Devil Raoul, you're correct, Randy. I don't like you. I love you. Thank you. You see that, Ralph? See that?
But that butt kiss? Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. All right. It doesn't happen often
I
on
want
this
to remove
show.
those lips right now. They're kind of
It
stuck.
doesn't happen often on this show. Just keep that in
anyone
mind.
named Sun Devil. I mean, come on.
Keep that in mind, Jack. Hefty Lefty says, I'm waiting for sources, air quotes, sources to say the Lakers are interested in hiring Bill Belichick as the next head coach.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Hefty Lefty.
Isn't
Tihua
Hefty Lefty
says,
a Laker fan?
no. No.
Maybe I got that wrong.
Tihua says all that talking was well deserved, Ralph. I don't.
I think we were talking, Ralph. We were talking going back to the day we were talking about the championships.
Oh,
and
yeah, when you guys were talking about me, yeah.
Talking.
I mean,
I wish I could remember.
we are on the line there, sir.
I want to remember what you said. It was very specific, but I have to go back and listen.
So, probably something about which one of your teams are we even counting?
Yeah, you did that.
So something to the
talked
effect
about
of
two
that.
And you're
teams in
blaming
the
me.
same division and all.
Oh, and you're blaming
Oh,
me.
that's right. Yeah.
No.
That every time that comes up, I will always harp on that because I got NFC East hate. That's apparently just its own level of hatred. I don't understand.
You have division issues. I get it.
So I couldn't root for any other team. I don't
Randy
care
talked a lot too.
if
I didn't.
I don't remember what Randy said. I genuinely don't remember Randy saying
I have to
anything.
go back and listen to it.
Me,
Hurt my feelings.
I remember me and Jeffrey were having a field day.
See,
I don't remember Randy saying anything.
Ralph, see. Booze and Radio says, Raider says, y'all are babbling about nothing. Pour me a double so it'll be more clear. All right.
This is the Daily Blender. The show is babbling about nothing.
There you go.
If you want us to babble about something, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Wrong show.
I got nothing else to give you. Nothing's all we got. You're gonna like it.
Hefty Lefty is back again. Keon's right. I'm a 100% a Lakers fan.
Okay, I thought so. So he's just doesn't believe in who the Lakers are going to hire. Is what I'm understanding.
It's not going to be Bill. I mean, not going to be Bill Belichick. Sorry. I mean, Aaron Hernandez has a better chance. I thought I'd just add to those jokes that have been going on all week. So
you might as well. It's
so speaking of MVP, Rookie of the Year, that sort of thing. A couple of NFL players have been busted for placing a bet on who's going to be the MVP during a recent interview on the All Facts No Breaks podcast.
Well,
Jaden Daniels revealed that he's made a huge bet with his former LSU teammate Malik Neighbors over who's going to be the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. Commanders' new quarterback, who was taken overall second in the draft, has a $10,000 bet with Neighbors over who's going to be taking home the Offensive Rookie of the Year with Malik Neighbors of the New York Giants.
not a good start.
No,
that's not good.
So I thought this sort of thing was frowned upon by the NFL, Keon.
It absolutely is. And I don't know that the NFL is going to necessarily squash these guys because they are
$10,000.
They're not placing bets on the apps. So like that's at least the good news there.
This is like between gentlemen.
Yeah.
And they shook hands.
And they should have kept
I
it
have
between
10
them.
grand,
You don't
and that's
you don't
it.
open your mouth on a podcast about that. That should have been between you and Malik.
What does that
Stay away from
say
that
about
topic.
your new quarterback?
And, well,
that he's young.
And he doesn't quite understand
All
how
right.
serious the NFL takes that stuff, and he's about to learn. He's about to learn a lot. But I also think that the NFL likes, these, especially these two guys are going to be some exciting rookies. Neighbors is going to be great. They're both in the same division, with Neighbors going to the Giants and Daniels on the Commanders. So, like, I do think the league wants to see them out there, and I think they'll probably get a slap on the wrist. But it's pretty dumb to go out there talking about it. That's pretty stupid.
Ralph?
I'm sure they've already got talked to. That's just not a topic you even bring
You
up.
think that the league has already talked to him?
No, I think their head coaches have probably reached out to them recently and said, "Hey, don't talk about that. Have you not seen what's happened in this league in the last year or two? Don't get yourself out there."
Like
in that
we
kind of
we just drafted you. Let's not try and get
Yeah.
you back in week 7. Like
exactly.
let's just
It's
cool
youth.
it.
It's youth and stupidity. That's all it
And
is.
it's youth and stupidity, and a couple of guys that have just come into a lot of money.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
2 young guys came into a lot of money very recently, and they're competitive and they're friends.
Keep it to yourself.
But you can't go around.
You didn't break any rules, but just keep it to yourself.
Right.
Didn't break any rules. Okay. Going with the New York Daily News, we got a bet going on here for Rookie of the Year. Whoever loses got to pay, I think it's $10,000 cash, was Malik Neighbors quoting that. This could turn into a potential issue for the NFL because players aren't supposed to be betting on anything involving the NFL.
Yeah, but they're not betting through any app or any service. This is a personal one-on-one bet
Mm.
based on total performance for the season, and you're both trying to do the best you can. So there's no negative there. You're not trying to lose a game. So I don't think this is a big deal. I just think they need to be smarter about saying
All right.
We're talking about a league that makes billions of dollars, who one of their media endorsement partners is a betting company. So they have to be careful. And because the NFL has to be careful, and because that could mess up the money, the only thing the NFL cares about, those guys are going to get their talking to, and I'm sure they'll be all right.
Quote, all NFL personnel are prohibited from placing, soliciting, or facilitating any bet, whether directly or through a third party, on any NFL game, practice, or other event, i.e., draft or combine, according to the NFL policy, end quote.
First of all, that rule is kind of insane if you think about it.
It's really vague too.
Yeah. It's trying to cover this big, broad area of things so that they can be left in that position. But come on, you can't tell me I can't place a bet with my friend and say, I bet you that I'm going to do better than you. I don't think that's the spirit of the rule. So,
all right.
That's my
and I would be stunned if that didn't already happen. It's
guys
don't know not to talk about it.
I just threw it out there. I just, I saw that and I thought, interesting.
No, it's a very interesting story, and we'll see because
right.
we could be 100% wrong about how the NFL reacts. I just think that when you've got a couple of exciting rookies who are young and making pretty much their first mistake in the league, I just don't know that the NFL is going to come down that
hard. The
hard.
NFL needs to better define this policy,
and
they better be careful how they define it based on the fact that everything they talk about is this draft book and that draft book and this draft service because it's a big part of what they do every day. But they need to define this better for the players instead of make it so vague where you can just get anybody that you want to get.
All right. Well, there you have it. We will keep our eye on this one as we move forward here on the Daily Blender. Right now, let's take a break. When we come back, Pacers have filed 78 complaints about officials. 78. Jeez. Has Rick Carlisle lost his mind? We'll talk about that next on the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, everybody, it's Mark Asher, and I am with the one and only Josh Garcia with the Miracle Mile Deli, who are celebrating something that's pretty unique. 75 years in business. Hi, Josh.
Hi, Mark. Thank you. The Miracle Mile family would like to thank you and the hundreds of thousands of people that have visited Miracle Mile Deli since our family restaurant started here in the Valley in 1949. It's been a privilege and an honor to serve generations of families across the Valley over the last 7 decades. We are extremely grateful to be celebrating our 75th anniversary in 2024. We cordially invite you to visit our Phoenix location on 16th Street in Campbell to celebrate our 75th anniversary throughout the year. We consider ourselves so lucky to be able to be a part of the Valley community and know that we wouldn't be here without our loyal Miracle Mile patrons and team members. So from our family to yours, thank you for allowing us to serve you over the last 75 years. And we look forward to continuing the Miracle Mile tradition with you for many more years to come. For more information, visit miraclemiledeli.com.
Marijuana may be legal in Arizona, but driving impaired is not.
As a police officer here in Arizona, I know DUIs apply to more than just alcohol. Anything that impairs driving makes you dangerous on the road. If you feel different, you drive different, and driving impaired can get you a DUI.
Get the facts at drivinghighaz.com and spread the word with the hashtag HighDUI. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Your home for sports. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
We are continuing our romp through the world of sports here on the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Right over there, the sexiest man in sports talk radio. That's Keon Rose. Next to him, Ralph Romano from Harmon Solar. My name is Randy White. Jeffrey O'Brien might be back on Monday. We're not sure. Might be back. He left here, Keon. Yeah, back me up on this one. He left here kind of tentative, right? Like if I don't see you, you guys have a good time, okay?
What do you
if I don't
mean?
see you guys sometime.
What do you mean if? And then he was already out the door.
Right?
He didn't even wait to give us an answer. what do you mean by
if look
if?
like? Yeah. Hey, look, if I'm not back, see you guys later. Something like that. So anyway, that's Monday. We'll wait and see who's here on Monday.
It's very obvious.
Keon and I are talking about vacation plans. So not gonna lie to you. Might be Ralph.
Yeah, I'll do the show.
Might be
3
Ralph
hours.
here.
3 hours with Ralph. That'll be fun.
You already do like an hour on the weekend, you and Neil.
3 hours on this show, everyone will get blocked by the third hour.
What are you talking about?
Because I'll block everybody by hour 3.
You can't do that, man.
Yes.
Come on.
Then I'll just, start playing music.
Just change the format. The
Format
station.
changed by 5.
Hungry like the wolf here on 1580 The Fanatic.
We'll become an 80 station by 5 p.m. Monday.
Oh, my God. You better be good to me. Hey, here's some Cher on 1580 The Fanatic. Anyway, we're talking a whole lot of things. One of the so I can't get away from the Knicks Pacers series. There's so much fun there.
No, there's not.
There's so much fun. There really is. Did you see last night? Did you guys watch the game at all?
I got the end of it. I got the second half. I was driving home for.
You didn't get to see the first part of it? Oh my God.
I did not know.
Maybe you remember game one. Rick Carlisle was like, you know what? We're going to just be, we're going to be cool with what's happening and just kind of let everything handle it itself from here. And we're not going to call out the officials and that sort of thing. And then last night's game happened. And Rick Carlisle says, you know what? We're going to go ahead and we're going to send 78 complaints to the NBA about officiating. 78.
Mm-hmm.
That would include the first game and the second game. Why can't teams in the MLB do this about Angel Hernandez?
I don't know what Major League Baseball's complaint system would be, but for him specifically, it would overwhelm the system.
So Rick Carlisle, who was ejected towards the end of the game last night, by the way, is complaining that officials are being very one-sided in their calls, and the team has collected video evidence on 78 calls, and they're going to go ahead and send those videos to the league office. Are you guys okay with that, Ralph?
It's a waste of time.
It's a waste of time, but I think it's a savvy move.
Yeah, I mean it is, but it's a waste of time. Nothing's going to happen from it.
Well, I think something will happen from it.
78 calls,
but not the league directly responding to the complaints. It's not about that. It's more about you want the officiating and the narrative of that in the media, so that can be in the officials' heads, so that they can, if you believe that you're being refereed unfairly. That's what you're looking for, is a little balance. Phil Jackson did it. Greg Popovich did it. Like, coaches talk about and complain about the officiating so that they can have some kind of outside influence on the officiating.
But do they have a grading system for officiating in the NBA?
I believe they do. Yeah.
So they have a group of people that look at tape and then they give grades.
Yeah.
And what do they do with that information?
Basically, it's just sort of who's going to be refereeing the finals kind of deal.
It's more for that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you're not going to, guys don't get fired as a result of any of these things. So
not to get off topic, Randy, but I have a solution for baseball.
Okay.
We could talk about that a little bit if you want to finish this up.
Yeah.
But I have a
No, please.
Go
You want to
ahead.
talk about it now?
Yeah.
Okay. so
Because
here's
I
my-
feel like it's all connected. Go ahead.
Okay. Here's my solution. The robo umpire, correct? We bring
For
that
balls and strikes.
Right. We bring that into play. Okay. And we allow 3 challenges per team per game. Okay.
Are you kidding me? 3?
3 challenges. Okay. Hear me out. I'm not done yet. So 3 challenges per team. And then what you do is, because these systems do this, we score every single game for umpires. If you fall within the bottom 10% on an annual basis of the umpire groups, as far as balls and strikes, you get relegated to the minor leagues. And we bring up the top 10% in the minor leagues up to MLB. And you constantly keep grading and relegating based on performance.
So,
It
Keon,
solves the
have
problem.
I not said this on this show about umpires who don't measure up, being relegated down to the minor leagues to rehab and work on their game?
I think you have. I think Ralph was maybe more specific with, using the robo umps and specifically, hey, you top 10% get up here, you bottom 10% get down there. But maybe the percentage could be tweaked for whatever the league wants. But I think Randy's brought that up before, but I think Ralph got more specific with it.
And I think that works because you have that. If you fall within that percentage, you're down, you're gone. And you're not guaranteed you're going to come back up. You've got to be in the top 10% to come back up, or you don't get to come back up.
So let me ask you this. How does that affect their payment? Because I know the union, I hate that word, by the way, union is going to balk at this.
It should absolutely impact their pay, just like an MLB player's pay is impacted whether he's up or down. Their pay changes. If they're up, they get league minimum. If they're down, they get paid based on the tier they're at. So it changes. So that should be no different. MLPA allowed it. Why can't the umpire union allow it? It's the exact same scenario.
Wow. How is it the MPL, the umpiring union is allowing Angel Hernandez to continue to umpire in the major leagues?
That's what I'm saying. And in this format, he wouldn't be here. He'd be down in the majors, and he probably would just quit. And he'd be in the minors, but he'd probably just quit because I don't think he can ever be in the top 10% down there either. So he would never be back. He's gone. The problem's solved. And you bring the guys up that are actually doing the job right.
And you do that without the conflict of having to fire the guy.
Yeah. And it's all stats driven by the robo umpire. So it's not a personal thing. It's a stats thing. You perform, you're there. If you
so
don't,
you're
not.
saying the robo umpire kind of checks what he's doing, balls and strikes.
Yeah,
Is that
because
what
right
you're
now,
saying?
what they do in the minors, the robo umpire gives that grade to that game. Like we had a game, I think last week in the minors, that was almost a perfect game as far as ball and strike call, and it missed on the final few pitches. He had an umpire had a perfect game going.
Wow.
Until the middle of the 9th inning, which is kind of cool that they actually have that kind of stat where they can see that. So umpires going to have perfect games and different things like that. It's really neat. Let's use that
And
technology.
it's also interesting because you can probably start to see which umpires, maybe when the pressure is on in a game, the pressure gets to them too to make these calls correctly. And so maybe World Series, guy that has a tendency he's normally a good ump, but he has a tendency to mess up calls in the 9th. Maybe he's not in the World Series.
And I want to take all the credit for this, but Max Scherzer, who was actually down in the minors throwing to the robo ump, had an idea that was very similar to this. I just took it and ran with it a little bit more. But
So
that was it.
So along with this, let me ask you this. Jeff Passan came out with an article not too long ago for the Four Letter Network. And I'm ashamed to say it, but I read the article.
How dare you?
But he was talking about umpires at plate calls are up about 25%, maybe more. I can't remember the exact amount, but it was up like 25 or 30% over the last 3 seasons.
Wait, what was up?
The plate calls, balls and strikes by human umpires were up like
so
25. Yeah, improvement. Okay. 25 or 30%.
You think that has to do with robo umpire sitting behind him?
I don't know.
Getting ready to come up.
I'm talking about a Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
And,
I'm thinking, are they thinking, this technology's coming, I better get better?
Well, and what about the NBA? I mean,
yeah, I agree.
78 instances where their team was robbed because of officiating.
That Jalen Brunson where he took the charge, but his feet weren't even remotely set, and he threw himself backwards like he got hit by a truck. Like
so
that annoys the hell out of me, and they should not have given him that call.
So what does the NBA do about that?
Start using the technology. Start start doing the same kind of thing I just talked about in the MLB. You can do that in every sport. You can put a plan together that basically says, if you guys aren't meeting this number, you're not up here.
Do you think the leagues will start? The leagues will start instituting that.
I think MLB might.
I don't know about the NBA though.
Interesting. All right, 2 hours down, one more to go. It's the Daily Blender on 1580.
You don't hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. And look at you, hands perfectly placed on the wheel, not like the driver to the right of you who's really going after that drum solo. Save with DriveWise in the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
When life gets overwhelming, but you just don't feel like talking, help is only a text away. Trained and caring crisis specialists are available by text 24/7 to assist with suicidal thoughts, substance use issues, depression, anxiety, and more. You are never alone. When you need help, please text HOPE to 4HOPE. From anywhere in Arizona, text the word HOPE to 44673. This message is sponsored by Solari Crisis and Human Services.
If you're rolling over your 401k to an IRA soon, but not sure if you want to go all in on this crazy market, here's what many retiring professionals are doing. How about a safe and secure IRA offering a contractually guaranteed 10% income bonus that grows 7% annually guaranteed? Your income can double in 10 years. Meanwhile, neither your principal nor your retirement income is ever subjected to a market downturn. Even if the market crashes by 50%, you get the 10% bonus. Your income keeps growing at 7%, and your principal may grow without losses uncapped. You go up with the index, never down, forward, never back. Get a 10% income bonus with a 7% contractually guaranteed growth rate. I compare over 1,200 annuities with a fiduciary duty and can help you retire and stay retired.
Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so compare with leading annuity authority Steve Jurich now. Visit IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com.
KQFN Tempe, also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM
and K2.2 Rolling Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third
hour. All right, people, settle down because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
It is the Thursday edition of the Daily Blender here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic as we broadcast live from the Harmon Solar Studios. Beautiful uptown Scottsdale. Right over there, the sexiest man in sports talk radio. That's Keon Rose. Next to him, well, that's Ralph Romano. He's from Harmon Solar. And if you don't think so, just ask him. He'll tell you. My name is Randy White. Jeffrey O'Brien back on Monday, we think. We're not sure yet. And you are the fourth dimension texting in at 888-368-1580 as we guide you through a Thursday. Let's see, Ringless Joe on the text line at 888-368-1580 talking about Lions. I don't know why we're talking about the Lions.
Ringless Joe says, babble about the Lions.
No.
No.
There's some really, really great local shows in Detroit. If you want to hear people babble about the Lions, I can point you to.
I mean,
Mike Valenti's really good up there.
We haven't talked football at all. I'm just
why on earth would we babble about the Lions in Phoenix, Arizona?
Why would Ringless Joe want us to?
Because he's a Lions fan. But just if we should so
it's
happen
not
to
Boogie though, Keon. It's Ringless Joe. Why?
Either way, we're not talking Lions. It's May. We can talk Cardinals in May. We can't talk Lions
look, man,
in May.
I mean, I'm a Lions fan too. I think football is much better when the Lions are good, when the Raiders are good.
So football hasn't been good for 100 years, or
no? You say 100.
Feels like 100 since the Raiders and the Lions.
I say a decade.
A decade.
Yeah.
When
was the last time?
I don't think so. When's the last time the Raiders won anything?
Look, I mean, look, I'm not going to try to explain to you guys.
I mean, John Madden's dead. I mean, so
boom, oh, boom, I am far, oh, boom. Historian says, has Jeffrey retired or has he won the lottery? No, neither.
Because he wouldn't tell us he was leaving if he won the lottery. He would just be gone one day. We would come
he
up to
told us why he's going. I'm not going to go through it again. Bruno Baller says, so on Monday, when we tune into the Daily Blender, we might hear you better, you bet? Maybe. Probably not. Probably be Keon and Ralph, not me, though. Hefty Lefty says, getting fired based off performance metrics. This is insanity. Tongue so far in cheek, it's touching the person next to me. I guess he's saying tongue in cheek.
Why is
getting fired based on performance metrics?
He's agreeing.
Oh, okay.
I
get it. The world today doesn't believe in that, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. He's saying his tongue's in his cheek, basically. So that he meant
mine
that
too.
Ironically. Oh, there it is. How about that?
9058 says, these Suns becoming more dysfunctional than Cardinals under Matt Ishbia. What the hell?
I don't know about that.
I don't think that's the issue at all.
I don't think the Suns are dysfunctional. I just think that Matt Ishbia is a new owner. He's got new owner syndrome. He's got a lot of money and the desire to win. And he's doing the only thing that you can do as the owner of the team, which is to throw the money. If you're a player and you want to win, you just get better at playing. If you're a coach,
Ralph,
you can change up schemes. If you're the owner, you just spend.
So, Ralph, before the Lakers were good, before Dr. What was his name? Dr. Buds?
Dr. Jerry Buss?
Buss. That's it. Buss. Yeah. Before he bought the team, was the feeling in Los Angeles like, oh my God, the Lakers are never going to be good. Somebody needs to rescue us. And then Jerry Buss comes in and then he gets Showtime going. And that's been going on from there. Tell me about that. Because I think that'll help the Phoenix Suns fans.
The Lakers were good historically. The problem is back in the day, Boston Celtics were better. So we were in the championship every year and lost to them until we finally beat them. And then in 72, the Lakers won a championship as well. Then from 73 to 78, it was kind of lean times. And that's when Dr. Buss came in and bought things. And once he did, I mean, he made instant impact. Instant impact. They won the title year one.
So what did Dr. Buss do when he came in? What did he do?
First thing he did was draft Magic Johnson. I mean,
and
that was a game changer right there. Yeah. He already had a great team. And then he brought in a quarterback, and that was history, right? 5 titles later. I mean, so it was a lot of what Dr. Jerry Buss did is reinvented the game in a lot of ways by, the cheerleading thing, by bringing in the Laker girls, by making the basketball event a show event, having parties after the games at the Forum Club. He did a lot of that kind of stuff because he was a big partier, a big playboy. I mean, he was Hugh Hefner. Basically, he was like mini Hugh Hefner. That's who Dr. Jerry Buss was.
Yes.
But he got somewhat involved in situations, but he really relied a lot on, like, at the time, Jerry West and Bill Sharman and some other guys to really make the right decisions. He said, I'll give you the money, just make sure you're doing the right things. Where I think this is different is Ishbia is got the money and he wants to say what the change is. And that's where I think the problem is. He needs to back out and let the guys he's paying do the job to do it. Because if he feels a little like Jerry Jones, he feels a little like maybe even the owner of the Dallas Mavericks when he first started,
Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban had to learn that the hard way too.
And I think he's kind of in that same boat, and he's going to need to learn how to back off and not do that because all he's doing is hurting the organization that way.
Dr. Buss didn't come in and call any shots, is what I'm hearing you say.
I think I think he tried to call a couple shots, but I think he learned really quick he needed to back off. He was there more to support guys. I think his big challenge was bringing in a guy like Magic and treating him like a son, and kind of other players didn't like that. They felt that, why should an owner, but I think back in those days, owners and players, they weren't tight at all. And he was the guy that came in, and Dr. Jerry Buss just loved Magic Johnson. He was like his son. And I think that was his biggest mistake, but he tried to call a couple shots here and there, but ultimately I think he let his guys, he really leaned on Jerry West at the time to really make things happen.
So was that about a year or so, or was that 6 months, or how long do you think that was?
As far as him
when Dr. Buss came in and he bought the team and made the move and got Jerry.
It was quick. It was quick.
It was quick. So what 3 months?
It was
2 months?
It was a couple months. I mean, he came right in and made instant impact. I mean, he wanted Jerry West to keep running the team, but Jerry West was done. He didn't want nothing to do with it. Right. So I can't remember who they brought in. They brought in what was that guy's name? The guy that fell off the bike and hurt his head. I can't remember his name. But they brought
Bill
him.
Stevenson.
Yeah, that's not him.
Yeah, no,
but he just wanted to make sure. But I think Buss's main thing, Buss was a businessman, right? His big thing was, I have the money, which he really didn't have as much as he said he did. I have the money. I'm going to give you guys all the backing you need to make the right decisions, but make the right decisions and win titles, because that's what I want to do here. I want to win titles, and that's exactly what he did.
So it sounds like that our owner here, Keon, needs to back off, and he needs to bring the money in. Now he's got a pretty good core of guys here, but he's got to let the GM do the work and let the NBA guys do the work. Do you agree or disagree?
I 100% agree. James Jones, prior to Matt Ishbia, was building something here, and then Matt Ishbia came in, wanted to immediately upgrade the roster. Bradley Beal was the sort of like best tradable asset out there, and they made the move and traded all those picks to the Wizards. And obviously now you have to try and figure out, okay, now that I've gone aggressively over the cap, how do I recover from that? So it's really weird to me that people are going after James Jones in this front office as though this was their idea. Right. I don't believe it was. I believe that this is something Matt Ishbia wanted, and they basically advised him based on what he wanted, which is to try to win right away. And that it's such a hard thing to do in the NBA, to try and win instantly, that I don't know that this is a great long-term plan. And Matt Ishbia might be the kid that's got to put his hand on the stove first before he learns, hey, okay, this is not how I do this. Seems like a smart guy. Seems like he'll figure it out. But it seems like he's got to learn the lesson first, and he looks like he wants to learn it the hard way.
And maybe I was going to say, maybe you would agree, Keon, but I think in basketball especially, you can throw money at it, but I think when you do that, you can quickly paint yourself into a really bad corner.
Yeah.
Where in other sports, you can get away with it.
You can. Like, even teams that have thrown money at situations and built super teams and actually won. Like the Celtics were able to do it when they got Kevin Garnett and put him with Ray Allen and Paul Pierce, or when LeBron goes down to Miami and it's D Wade and it's Bosh. But all of those teams dealt with depth problems. All of those teams dealt with in the inability to retool after those big threes broke up. The Celtics were terrible for a while after that big three. And then after LeBron leaves Miami and D Wade retires, it's like Miami didn't have what they have now, but it took them a little bit to build it back. And I just see the Suns doing a similar thing, but they're doing it with less results. And that's the part that's scary.
All right. So it seems like Matt Ishbia needs to learn a few things. And in case you're just tuning in, you didn't know, Frank Vogel has been fired by the Phoenix Suns, and they're going to bring in another coach. And we still have the situation where we have the big three, and we don't have any help for the big three. We don't have any leadership. We don't have any help. A lot of people saying, Budenholzer maybe coming in and coaching this team. We don't know. I mean, there's just been some names linked to the Phoenix Suns job. It doesn't mean that's going to happen.
I mean, doesn't it feel like it's the wrong big three? Like when you look at teams that have done that, like for instance, when you had Shaq and you had Kobe, and then you put all the pieces around them, right? Or what LeBron did down in Miami, putting those pieces. Didn't Chris Bosh take a lot less money to join that?
Yeah,
group?
he took a haircut.
Right. So you saw a lot of that. I think from 2000 to 2010, maybe 2015, you saw these the two main guys getting a lot of money, and then you have everybody around them that just came along for the ride to get a ring, right? That's what kind of the motive was. And I don't think you have that today. And so I think the three guys that Phoenix have, number one is a mistake because you don't have. I think you just needed that big, brutal inside guy, that high-paid guy inside that would dominate the paint, could score a lot of points, could play defense. You needed I don't know who it is, but if you were to put money into a guy like that versus a guy like Beal, that doesn't help you, in my opinion. Beal doesn't help you, especially with his history.
So Keon,
that's just what I'm thinking.
So Keon, what kind of a guy could be a bruiser inside for the Phoenix Suns? Let's say they went out and they ended up trading Beal, and they had they freed up some money, and they could bring in anybody. What kind of a big bruiser could they bring in to really help them inside? A guy that's going to stop a Joker, a guy that's going to stop a Karl Anthony Towns, or a what's his other name? The patient one, patient zero from the Timberwolves.
Rudy Gobert. Which you're not trying to stop Rudy Gobert. You're trying to actually score on Rudy. Rudy doesn't care about whether or not he scores. He didn't give a damn.
Yes.
But that's the thing is I think that guy's really hard to find in free agency. And with the money that the Suns have, I think it's going to be really hard to find a guy who's going to do that and take a minimum salary. Some of the names that are out there, though, for guys that play that position that are going to be free agents this year, Nick Claxton's probably the top guy. He's a free agent from the Nets. Can be incredibly dominant. I don't know that he's like bruiser so much as just insane athlete. Can really get up there, out rebounding people by just simply jumping higher than all of them, which works if you do it correctly.
So where does he play, Claxton?
He was a Net. He'll be a free agent.
All right.
And I'm looking specifically at free agents because I just don't want the Suns to start trading some of these picks away.
Sure. Because what about Jurkic though? I mean, if we trade Jurkic away for one of these guys,
if you trade Nurkic away, I don't think you're going to get a 1-for-1 trade where you win the trade. Like you always have to think about, if I were the other team and you're sending me Nurkic because you think he's not doing enough, why would I send you my big man back if you already think your guy's not doing enough? You know what I mean?
Nurkic needs to be the guy coming off the bench.
Yeah, I don't think Nurkic is bad. I don't want him off the team. I just think that as a starting lineup. Yeah, as a starter, it's just I don't think he's got enough juice, and especially when you talk about some of these other bigger guys that he runs into, like a guy like Jonas Valanciunas, who I don't think the Suns can afford. But if they were to somehow convince him to take a minimum NBA salary, that's the bruiser you're looking for. He plays exactly that way. He's physical. He rebounds. He's mean. That's probably more in the mold of the kind of guy I think this team would probably need.
I mean, I think we've seen the owner, Ishbia, wants to make sure that he gets a winning team. And with the big three right now, I think he understands the business aspect of this. He's not going to be able to get rid of Beal right away. He's not going to get rid of Booker. He's not going to get rid of Durant, at least right now. So Nurkic seems to be the expendable for me, or a guy that he could transition to the bench.
You've got to trade somebody that people actually want. Right. If you're going to get back, he could be as expendable as you want. But if you don't want him and what you need is a big man, if you traded Nurkic and said, "Hey, I'd like your point guard," that might be a little bit easier to sell because it's okay, that you're just looking.
Talk about point guards then.
You have to look at Booker and KD. One of them has to go.
But yeah,
and that's the bottom line. One of them has to go in order for you to do anything. Otherwise, it's not happening.
We know that Brooklyn is rumors have it that Brooklyn really wants, or the Knicks really want Booker.
Yeah,
on their team.
And they said no one's off the table except Jalen Brunson for them. So
they want to team Brunson and Booker up is what they want to do.
Yeah, which makes sense.
It makes a ton of sense. And
what do we get from the Knicks in return?
Oh, if nothing's off the table, I'm taking Isaiah Hartenstein. Second off, I'm taking a bunch of your picks because we need some of those back over here. Like the fact of the matter is you don't control your picks for like the next 8 years, because anytime you do get a good pick, the Wizards can pick swap with you and just take it right from you. So like that's going to be a major issue, but it also depends on like what you want to do moving forward. How fast do you want to win this championship? Do you want to just hit the reset button and then try to rebuild the quote unquote right way moving forward, which means, yeah, you're going to have to be waving the white flag on a ring right now. Or are you going to double down on this process where you try to keep this thing together as much as you can? And then maybe because like Durant's the one with the 2 years left on his deal, like that's a risk I think a lot of teams would take.
What are we into Booker for? Is how much time does he have left on his contract? Do we know?
Yeah, I can get that real quickly.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll keep talking about this. Suns, in case you didn't know, you didn't hear, and you're just getting out of work today, Suns parting ways with their head coach. And there's a lot of things on the table here and a lot of discussion to be had. We've got a lot of texts on the text line at 888-368-1580. And when we come back, we will continue to talk about Suns basketball and a whole lot more. It's the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
With the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs rolling along, the New York Rangers are the betting favorite to come out of the Eastern Conference. They are plus 165. The Florida Panthers, who are tied in their series with Boston at 1, are plus 185 to come out of the East. The Carolina Hurricanes and the Boston Bruins are both at plus 460. Over in the West, the Avalanche are the betting favorites to represent that conference in the Stanley Cup Finals, plus 175. The Avalanche have scored 32 goals in their 6 playoff games so far. Edmonton Oilers plus 210, and the Dallas Stars are plus 330. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go: shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit NoTimeToWait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You're expanding your business and need to add to your fleet. Maybe you need another semi-truck or trailer. Don't have the cash? I can help. I'm Dylan Cohen at JR Capital, and we offer no money down financing on new and used trucks and trailers. Whether you're an owner-operator or a fleet manager, I'll get the vehicles you need with a simple application and same-day approval. It's faster and easier than asking your banker. Call me, Dylan Cohen, at 602-834-7353, or visit moneyradio.com and click on Finance with Dylan.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. And look at you, hands perfectly placed on the wheel, not like the driver to the right of you who's really going after that drum solo. Save with DriveWise in the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Celebrating 30 years of AmeriCorps looks like
building lifetime change makers in Arizona communities. From serving children alongside First Things First to Executive Director of Prevent Child Abuse Arizona. From the Pinal County Sheriff's Office to the Governor's Office, serving with AmeriCorps today creates limitless potential for every new member to lead Arizona tomorrow. Where will AmeriCorps take you? Join the movement by signing up at serve.az.gov. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Youth, Faith, and Family.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Ken Barkley here, reminding you to check out You Better You Bet. Why, you ask? Well, because we bring the fun, the insight, and all the wagertainment you need. Plus, hopefully, we win a couple bets along the way. From up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come with them, obviously. Plus, betting analysis from some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. Join myself and Nick Costos and tune into You Better You Bet. Weekdays from noon to 3 on Arizona's sports betting station 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
It is the Daily Blender as we head towards 6 o'clock tonight here on this Thursday edition. Big George on the text line at 888-368-1580 says, Ralph is right. Need to get rid of Booker. I agree. Can't get that crybaby out of here and get a king's ransom in return.
Has
You think
George
that
ever agreed with me before?
Suns are going to get a king's ransom for Devin Booker?
They would. Yeah.
I think he's one of the most underrated players in the NBA.
Maybe among,
And I could see us getting screwed easy.
maybe among fans, he's underrated. There is
What do you mean among fans?
Executives do not underrate Devin Booker. When the New York Knicks are saying that if you send us Booker, nobody on the roster is locked down. You can pick any of these guys.
That's respect, yeah.
And picks. Devin Booker's respected in front offices. Like, if you want a guy who can score like that, you can build around a guy who can score like that. The only way you get screwed is if James Jones decides to sleep in.
I still feel like Booker and Durant don't pass the ball as much. And nobody has taken command of this team. I know a lot of people say, and Ralph, maybe I'm wrong. I know a lot of people say this is Devin Booker's team. But Kevin Durant did not come into this team and help by just kind of going to second fiddle and let Devin Booker try to take control of this team. I feel like there's no leadership on this team.
I don't think anyone will argue that with you. But I think, and Keon made the point, I think it's time to wave the white flag. Take these big three and tear them apart. Go get something for somebody, whether it's Booker or KD, and rebuild this the right way. Because the path that you're on right now, there's no championship title on this path, in my opinion.
So dismantle and rebuild.
I think you have to, because I just think you're kidding yourselves if you don't. I think if you keep these three guys and you keep trying to build around them, you're never going to beat the likes of Minnesota, who's young and getting better, Oklahoma City, who's young and going to get better, Denver with Jokic. You're not gonna beat these teams. You need to go back to the drawing board, because I'm sorry, Matt Ishbia, but you screwed up big time.
And look,
by bringing in Beal, you destroyed this team.
It's okay, because you haven't. I don't think the damage is
okay,
because I don't think the damage is irreversible.
No, it's not
yet. But
not yet.
But I heard James Jones saying at that press conference, well, Booker and Durant don't need our 2031 pick. Man, what are you talking about? By the time you need that pick, you're going to be so far behind. Even if you had it, that player couldn't save you.
Yeah.
The only way to get good in the NBA is to rack up lottery picks or get superstars. They tried the superstar route, and now
wrong.
You got to go the other way.
I hate to be that guy, but the lottery's rigged. I'm sorry, the NBA lottery is rigged. It's BS.
It's done wrong, Randy.
I've heard
I
everything.
I understand.
They do it.
Listen,
it's hermetically sealed on the Funkin' Wagnall's porch at a mayonnaise shop. Hey, give me a break.
I get
man.
that, but listen to what I'm saying, because I'm not going to sit here and argue with you about the rigged nature.
End up in San Antonio,
Randy,
when they weren't the worst team in the NBA last year.
They were the second worst team, and it's a lottery.
My God.
They were the second worst team. Anyway, we don't have to do this. We don't have to open this can of worms right now, because that's not the point that I was trying to make. The point that I was trying to make was, You still need those picks in that lottery area because you know what? Steph Curry was a 10th pick. I mean, we're talking about Kawhi Leonard was a 13. Klay Thompson was an 11. You can still build a team with picks that aren't the number 1 overall pick unless you traded them all to the Wizards, which you did. You need to start getting some of those picks back. That's my point.
Horrible move, man.
It's just,
Look,
I don't think I like the idea if you're going to take a swing at it. If you think you're close and you're one guy away.
That's the wrong
Well,
guy.
but the thing is, that was the best asset to trade for in
I
terms
still
of
say
guy
if-
was averaging 28 points a game at the time.
Yeah,
It
no,
just
I get it, but if they would have not done that, just waited, oh my gosh, they'd be in such a better
they
place.
would be in a better spot. But I understand. Okay, you want to come in, be aggressive, but don't make it worse. So you learn.
I
You see this
still
from
say
guys on
it-
Wall Street all the time. Don't invest money, lose money, and then invest even more money in a bad strategy.
Yeah, no, I get that. I just think if you trade Nurkic and maybe some other guys on your bench like I don't know who, but with Taco Falls, what the hell's his name?
You don't want
Taco Bell.
Falls.
What's his name?
No.
You look.
He's got bad feet, man. He's
pack-
slow.
I've got bad feet. They smell terrible. But that's from kicking ass. Anyway, the bottom line is
Taco Fall never saw the floor, and that's for a good reason.
you package Nurkic in with somebody else. You move him along. You get somebody.
You won't get
point
enough.
guard.
The value's not
Point
there,
guard.
Randy. The value's not there.
I
It's just not.
do think potentially, Tyus Jones is going to be a free agent this summer. Maybe he would go minimum salary because he did say he wanted to compete for a title.
Trae Young.
Trae Young would be somebody that would be expensive. Like, do you can't
Well, Trae Young is going to be one of those ball hawks, man.
He's gonna be a Laker anyway.
And the other thing is,
It's gonna be a Laker.
Trae Young
Oh,
is incredibly ball dominant. Like, if your problem is guys on this team don't pass enough already,
We need a team player.
adding Trae Young is going to make your team significantly
You
worse.
you need an inside game. You guys were
Yes.
absolutely dominated by Denver. It was a
Yeah.
joke.
Oh yeah.
And you'll never win a title.
And
with
Nurkic was playing his ass off, but it was
Yeah,
like
it wasn't him. It's not his
he
fault.
tried to box out Gobert, and McDaniels would just take
Right.
him out. I
Well,
mean,
he
they
needed help.
weren't
He had
they
no
weren't
help.
big.
Yeah, he
Part
had
of
no
the
help.
issue. He has no ass. I'm just saying. I
No,
mean,
he had no help. You
uh,
keep him. You want him on the bench. That's not a guy
Triple-
you want to get rid of.
888-368-1580. Let's see here. Jonesy says trade KD and Beal, get picks and build around Book. That's how we got good in the first place. Crazy dumb to trade Book.
You can't trade Beal. No one wants him for that contract.
Though, I mean, and the thing is, if you trade Durant and Beal, you're going to have to figure out a third team now to add up to all of this because they're each $50 million guys.
Yeah.
No one is adding $100 million to the salary cap.
Man.
No one's taking on his contract with his issues.
It's not that Beal's a bad player. It's that Beal does not play up to the $50 million
So
that he is
why-
being paid.
Why did he not play up to par this year? What was up
Well, he was
with
hurt
Beal?
most of the year.
He was hurt a lot of the year,
Well,
but
I
also
know
there
that.
was also some part of it that I thought
When he
would
got
be,
on the floor with the other two, why didn't he play well?
I thought he would be better, but there were a couple of things. I think one, he had to play point guard. That's not his position. He's okay with it. He can do it. But I think the Suns needed somebody who could distribute the basketball at a higher level than that. And that, like, it just some of those shots that they were able to get more easily were games where they did get Beal playing kind of point guard really well, or even Booker when he was playing a little more point guard really well. But I think that we've seen enough, right? Like they tried that experiment of turn one of these guys into a point guard, and it just didn't work.
2710 new texter here on the text line at 888-368-1580. It says, great move today by the Phoenix Suns organization, firing that pig, Frank Vogel. What a crummy coach he was. Suns will ride high with Mike Budenholzer at the helm and a reinvigorated Suns team without Bradley Beal. Oh, my God.
That is
he just
still
went pig.
That is
and,
still a human being. Come on now.
He went big. He went big with pig.
He was a bad coach for you guys. That's
He
it.
just said that Frank Vogel leaves, and suddenly that pig, Frank Vogel, is going to leave, and the Suns team is going to be reinvigorated.
No, they're not, because the coach is not your problem. We're
It was
we've
part
been
of the
talking
problem.
about your problem for the
And-
last hour and a half.
And also, the coach wanted a point guard, and the big man upstairs, Matt Ishbia, said, "Nah, no,
That
you
pig!
you go ahead with and figure out your point guard with the figure out
Only thing I can do
your
is wait.
roster with the people I gave you." And there wasn't a
Uh.
starting point guard on the roster, and
Yeah.
I kind of feel bad for Vogel. The one thing he asked for, he did not get. Like,
Again,
Pig! He's a pig!
I wasn't a fan of his, but he's not the problem.
no,
He's part of the problem,
yeah.
but there's bigger problem.
like
there.
if there was a pie chart, he's a good chunk of it. He's like a fourth of it. But
Wow.
that's not.
But there's 3/4 of
Yeah,
it
there's still
sitting there.
75% of the
When-
problem left.
When you finish the season and you go to high five Bradley Beal, he's just like, get off my face.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, get your hand down.
Because just to be
You see what I'm
100%
saying?
clear on this, NBA coaches get fired when the players don't want them anymore.
And
Yeah.
it sounds
That's just
like
a fact.
to me, and
That's
looked
LeBron.
like to me, yeah, get away from me was all it took.
And I know people accuse LeBron of this, but like this is every NBA locker room. It could be 15 guys who will never see an all-star game ever. If they don't like the coach, he's gone.
I mean, LeBron's gotten rid of what, 6 coaches?
LeBron
now?
can do it by himself, though. He
No,
doesn't
he
even
really
need the
sucks.
locker room. He can-
What if we somehow lure away Ty Lue and he comes to Phoenix?
Won't happen.
I would like that. I don't
what
see that
if,
as a
though?
real
I mean, what
possibility.
if?
But the guy's
They
the
just gave
guy's
him more money.
the guy's really smart, and I know the Clippers are aware of how valuable he is because they keep throwing
Is-
money
is-
at him every
I
offseason.
mean, Ty Lue comes to Phoenix? I mean, come on.
They're getting their own new stadium now. The whole new thing. That's
He's-
a big
he's a-
deal with
Who
Clippers. this year.
cares?
He
He's
play-
got James Harden,
He's got more
who
money
is
now.
an offensive scheme.
Harden
and then
played
he's
well
got,
over there.
Well, okay. All right.
Harden did actually play well over there. I think
It
LeBron wants to
took
leave.
it took him about 25 games
Doesn't
to get
Kawhi
going.
want to leave though? Was that
What
what I
if
heard?
what
Oh,
if Ty
I
Lue
need to read
comes
up on
to
that
Phoenix?
part of it, but
I'm just saying, I feel like the Clippers are about
Look,
to implode.
does
Why
Matt
doesn't Ty
Ishbia-
Lue just get and
He's
get
not
on the
leaving.
I-10 and head west?
Just
Just
if
Hey,
Ty Lue leaves, he's going to be going to the
or
Lakers.
east.
No one else.
If Ty Lue leaves and say he comes to Phoenix, it'll be because Matt
Eddie.
Ishbia wrote the biggest check in the world,
Yeah,
and
$1
why
billion
I think
dollars.
why not?
I just
Why
think
not?
I just think that that's
Why
completely
not?
possible. I just don't know that he's doing that.
It
Like I
doesn't
don't know,
fix your problem. He can't go rebound for you.
and that's
He's not going to
I
crash the
understand
offensive
that.
glass.
But if he comes in, he assesses the team. This is what I need. Ishbia is free with that checkbook. Boom. We
It's
make
not
some moves.
it's not
Done
the
and
answer.
done.
It's not the answer.
Mm.
Your coach is not the answer.
It's part of it. I still think you need to get that right. And look,
I do too.
if you can get Ty Lue, go ahead and do that. But I hope that you understand that that's like the beginning of the journey, not the end of it. I still think you need a point guard, like a real honest to God
Yes.
point guard. He doesn't have
Yes.
to be the best player in the
Yes.
league.
Yes.
You know, I mean, the
we got
Bucks
rid
were
of
able
the
to
point
go
guard.
far with
he went to the Clippers. No, he went to Golden State.
yeah. And he's not doing anything over there.
No.
Like 80.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I know he's 80, but at least he was a point guard.
and part of the getting Bradley Beal was getting out of the Chris Paul thing. So like that makes sense because like Chris Paul was just declining really
He
fast.
still played better than Beal.
He did not.
Triple Eight.
Beal didn't play well. I'm not going to lie to you on that front, but Chris Paul was
1580.
bad.
That's our text line. And Pierre's on the text line. I applaud you for not talking about the Lions and that horrible city, Detroit.
Oh my
I spit on Detroit on their polluted water and their high crime.
They didn't do those things to themselves, but that's
Every time
fine.
Meyer, he spits on Detroit.
It's like
I mean, what the hell?
the poor people of Detroit didn't
not their
choose any of those problems. Like,
They didn't ask for
The 2710, you're going to have to get a text name if you're going to keep texting in. 2710 says, I hear Steve Nash is available if you're looking for a point guard on the Suns. Already had him.
Yeah, and didn't
2710.
retire
What's your
with
texter
lower
name,
back
by the way?
injuries? I mean, just
That might be.
I don't think that gets better
Plus,
the older you get.
San Antonio cheated their ways
Oh, jeez.
to beat up Steve Nash. So we want somebody here that can give as well as get. That's all I'm saying.
Don't we all though?
Bruno Baller says Matt Ishbia will hire Tom Izzo from Michigan State.
Oh gosh. Go ahead.
Yeah, look.
Bad
Would
work.
he have the pedigree? Yeah. Do I? But I'm not just big on what did you do?
Tom
Who did you
Izzo?
get?
Really?
I'm big on your process. Do you have a good process that you can do multiple times in a row.
Process.
Yeah. Like, what is your process for figuring out who's the best fit for your team?
Well, it's not.
And the guy that's the coach of the
Not
team
Tom
I
Izzo.
used to play at is
Not
not
Tom Izzo.
is not a good process. That's a very dumb way of going about this.
You know, I
I
used
sure
to have
hope
a
that's not the
baseball
case.
coach. His name was Ken Ashley. I loved Ken Ashley. I loved Coach Ashley. And he was my coach at Trevor Brown. And Ken Ashley was he was a legend. Would I want him to be the coach of the Diamondbacks? Hell no.
Well, he's
No.
probably 90.
No. Well, he's probably 90 now. Yeah, easy. He's probably dead. I'll be honest with you.
Oh my God. Well,
he'll
he
be
was-
close to Lavello.
I think he was in his 50s when I was 18. So he's probably dead. But you know, I'm just saying. You know, Ash was a legend. Ash. We all called him Ash.
Was he ashy?
You guys, you catchers, go get my sunflower seeds. And he hated pitchers. You maggot pitchers. Oh, he hated pitchers. Where's the pitching machine? You maggots, go get the pitching machine and then start running.
He's like the Jim
Oh, yeah.
Harbaugh of baseball.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Harbaugh
Oh,
hates
yeah.
quarterbacks. He
God.
likes his, but he genuinely is just like, what if
Ashley.
we ran the ball 30
Ashley,
times
all the
instead?
time. I got hit in the head one time by a curveball. I tried to get out of the way, and it got me right here underneath the helmet. And Ash was like, "What's the matter with you, White? Get up, rub some dirt on it, you." And he called me several colorful. I couldn't even walk. It knocked me silly. It knocked me silly.
You were a catcher, right?
I was a catcher, but he pinch hit me in this game.
Oh, okay.
Against Carl Hayden. And this pitcher was in. He had this wicked curveball. So I stayed in. And then all of a sudden I realized it's not going to break. So I turned, and then it got me right under my helmet, right under here, and just knocked me goofy. I couldn't even talk. So one of the guys on the team came out and picked me up and carried me off the field. I wasn't even lucid until I got back to the school after the game. I don't even know what the hell happened.
Well, back then there was no such thing as a concussion.
Joe
You'll be
Rippey.
fine.
Joe Rippey was the pitcher, and he
Don't
had
let
this
him go to
wicked
sleep.
curveball, and it got me. It's like bang, and down I went like a sack of rocks. Get up, White. Oh yeah, I'll never forget.
Did you see Contreras get hit by JD Martinez?
Oh yeah,
we talked
that
about
was
that
terrible.
Oh,
yesterday.
I think did he break his arm?
Yeah,
Broke
he
his
broke his
forearm.
forearm.
Oh, that
broke his forearm.
He looked like he was crying on the field.
Oh my
Yeah.
God!
Like
Listen, I've got a broken hand. I had a broken hand right here. You can feel it. Well, you guys can't because you're not here. But I caught the rest of the game with a broken hand. I know what it's like getting hit with the bat on your hand as a catcher. And I instantly backed up. And the umpire was, and you know this, Ralph, the umpires will crowd you, trying to get you to get closer. And I kept backing up, going, no, man, nah, we're doing this. You want to get closer? You go right ahead. I'm sitting back here.
So painful.
Let's take a break. When we come back, I got your text. I got on this date in Big Georgia sports history and a lot more. It's a Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
What companies would you want to work for? Just Capital is a nonprofit that tracks which companies are a force for good. Companies like Bank of America, which just earned the prestigious Just Capital 2024 seal. Bank of America is ranked #1 in the banking industry and #1 for their ongoing commitment to workers, offering best-in-class benefits, including a minimum wage of $25 an hour by 2025. Visit justcapital.com to learn how a just business is a better business.
Furnished by Just Capital.
Moments like my daughter telling me a new joke mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Hey, everybody, it's Mark Asher with Josh Garcia of the Miracle Mile Deli. Josh, I want to thank you and your family for making such a huge difference over the last 75 years in the restaurant business in Arizona.
Thank you, Mark. It's been a privilege and an honor to serve generations of families like yours in the Valley over the last 7 decades, and we are extremely grateful to be celebrating our 75th anniversary in 2024 with a variety of different specials. So come on down to our Phoenix location at 16th Street in Campbell with your family and friends and celebrate with us. For more information, visit miraclemiledeli.com.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. And look at you, hands perfectly placed on the wheel, not like the driver to the right of you who's really going after that drum solo. Save with DriveWise in the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. If you hit, pass it, dunk it, shoot it, check it, throw it, putt it, or block it, then we're gonna talk about it. I like that. I just thought I'd clear that up. 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Nothing more than some rock and roll heading us into the final segment of the Daily Blender on this Thursday. 888-368-1580 is the text line. You can join us. That's what drives our show. Keon Rose, the Sexy Expanded Sports Talk Radio, Ralph Romano from Harmon Solar, and yours truly, Randy White, joining you here on the Daily Blender. Jeffrey O'Brien may be back on Monday. He was very vague, Ralph, when he was walking out of here yesterday.
Yeah, he sent me a very strange message this morning, and just
what
basically
was it?
Trying to get me to come here, and just saying, just pretend like you didn't talk to me, just go to the show. Okay. I mean, it was very odd. It didn't seem right. Something was definitely up. So,
all right, 888. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I don't know. I just, Jeffrey's an odd guy.
Yeah. Well. Yes, I know that.
You know better than all of us.
Well, 888-368-1580, 6015, who happens to be another new texter here on the text line, says, damn, Phoenix Suns trying to go back to Sarver level chaos as a franchise. SMDH.
Shake my darn head.
Yeah, shaking my damn head.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Shake my damn head.
I didn't want to use that.
When you go like capital D with damn, when you go SMDH, when you do that, like capital D, like shake my damn head. When you do that, damn.
I guess I've just never seen punctuation or not punctuation, but capitalization in an acronym like that, where like one of the letters.
See what I mean? Damn. See what I'm saying? Shake my damn head. Shake my head. See what I'm saying?
Everybody is going to stink in the NBA at some point. It's just a matter of how do you get out of that? Because the way you do that determines how long you get to be good.
Well, I think the Suns making the playoffs, having only gone to the finals, so what, like 3 seasons ago? 21? Is that when we
was it 21
went
or
to
was
the
it 19?
Was it 21?
It was 21.
21.
21
Because
was
I wasn't here yet in 19.
Oh yeah, the year after the Lakers won the championship. That's right. Yeah.
Oh, you mean that COVID championship, right?
Whatever you want to call it.
888-368-1580. Kyle G says to Pierre, Detroit may be a bad city, but you don't even have a football team in Canada. So who's the real loser?
Wow.
Now, see, I want to correct Kyle G there. Pierre, I believe Pierre does have a football team there.
Oh,
the Toronto Argonauts?
Yeah.
The CFL.
Yeah.
Where the quarterback just got suspended for
sexual
misconduct.
They just won the Grey Cup, and they're
Jim Kelly's kid.
Jim Kelly's well, it was his nephew.
Nephew, that's right.
Wasn't
That's
his
right.
kid, right?
That's
It was his nephew.
I remember when he was at Ole Miss too. He was a head case.
I remember when Jim Kelly talked about his nephew. He said something like, "Oh, the veteran minus player."
Wow. I
I think that was a direct quote.
I don't think that's how Jim Kelly sounds.
Yeah, it was direct.
By the way,
like that. Pretty sure.
Huh. 3 minutes to go in the third, by the way. Cavaliers leading the Celtics 81-70.
Ooh.
Wow. Finally going to win a game.
Ooh.
So Cavs are pretty good, man.
It's game 3, right?
81-70. 11 points.
It's actually it's game 2.
Oh, I thought they were down 2-0 already.
No, I mean they lost real bad in game 1, but
So it was like 2 losses.
yeah, but it only counts for 1. So Boston should know you can't roll the points over.
That's surprising.
Kyle G says if you're dead set on keeping this roster, JJ Redick would be the coach to get. Otherwise, get as many picks as you can for Durant and Booker and start all over with a 5-year rebuild plan.
Why JJ Redick over a coach with actual experience? Like, that's just a genuine question. I don't even hate the JJ Redick idea. I like him. And I think that if you get a good staff of NBA assistants and coaches who have a lot of experience and you put them around them, it could work. But you're taking a risk anytime you take a guy who has never done this before and you are asking him to lead your team. And usually when you do, you ask that guy to lead young players. You usually don't ask that guy to lead guys who are, either in the middle of their prime or on the back 9 of it.
Yeah, I think JJ Redick's a better fit in LA where he can just let LeBron run the team.
Don't you think somebody like JJ
Redick
Redick would just come in and just kind of like add some things? He doesn't have to run the whole team. You know what I mean? With a LeBron run team.
I think with a LeBron run team, yes, because I think in Phoenix you need more of a leader, and I don't think that's a good move for someone like JJ Redick. Even if you put the staff around him, I get that, but I think you need a strong leading coach.
Say what you want about LeBron. His personality takes over a locker room.
Yeah,
there is no doubt who the leader on the team is, and there's no doubt when they go out on the floor what the plan is, who gets the ball, when, where.
It, AD? Who's the leader?
It's LeBron.
Oh,
it's LeBron. I mean, everywhere he's ever been, he's been that guy.
He'd be great in Phoenix. I think LeBron would be really good here. No, I really do. I think he'd be great here.
Let's see here. 2710, the new texter today, who still needs a texter name, says that 90-year-old coach you're talking about is probably 10 times better than that pig, Torey Lovello.
So
I think I'm going to name this texter 2710 Pig.
Or Oinker.
Oinker. That's a good one, Ralph. Keon, what do you got? Pig stall. What do you got? This room is a pigsty. My mom used to say that about my room.
I'm a big Peanuts fan. How about Pigpen?
Pigpen. I like that.
Pigpen.
I like Pigpen. Or
2710. You better come up with your own texter name. We're going to make one for you.
I like Pigpen a lot.
We have many. Big George says at 888-368-1580. He says, "Hey Randy, your stories about life back in the day are hidden gems of the Daily Blender." You think so, Big George? Your story about going to Randy's Donuts in LA was epic, and your story about your former baseball coach is gold. Yeah, Ken Ashley. We called him Broomstick because he always walked around like he had a broomstick somewhere. You guys probably know.
In his closet, yes.
And he was the varsity baseball coach at Trevor G. And he had a chair and an umbrella that the catchers had to bring out every day out of the equipment room. And then the pitchers, he hated pitchers. He absolutely hated pitchers. We had a relief pitcher called Richard Caldwell, but he called him a Bigfoot. He called him Bigfoot because he was like 6'4", and all Caldwell could do was throw a fastball. And he threw it hard. It was like 95, 96. And back in the day, we're talking several years ago, guys. I'm 62. So he called him Bigfoot, and that would get him angry. So when he got on the mound, he called him a Bigfoot. Let's go. Throw strikes. Here we go, Bigfoot. Throw strikes.
Wow.
That would piss him off. And this guy would throw like 96, 97, just straight as an arrow, no movement, and just dominate batters.
So did he sit in a chair during practice with an umbrella over his head?
Oh, my God, yes. And he had a bullhorn. All right, outfielders, you guys get moving. Let's see some hustle out of you guys.
He was that guy. Was he a big guy?
No. He was like 6'1", skinny, and he walked like he had a broomstick somewhere. That's all I'm going to say about that. Broomstick.
Interesting.
We called him Ash. Some guys called him different things. Like I always called him Ash, though. He said to me one time, I was in the batting cage taking some cuts before practice. He's, Randy White, you got the best swing in high school baseball. The problem is you can't hit the GD ball. God damn it. It's the way he talks. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
The swing
you
is
look
pretty,
good
but
striking
you don't hit.
out.
Yeah.
Great swing. I wish you could hit the damn ball.
That's it. That was it.
That's painful.
So 888-368-1580. Let's go ahead and do this before it gets too late here. Let's do on this date in Big George's sports history. Stand by just a second. Here we go. On this date in Big George's sports history, back in the year 1888, Louisville Colonels right-handed pitcher Elton Icebox Chamberlain, a natural right-hander, threw left-handed for the final 2 innings of the Kansas City Cowboys. Louisville won the American Association contest played in Eclipse Park by the score of 18-6. Icebox Chamberlain finished his major league career with 264 complete games.
Wow.
That's crazy. Out of 301 games started.
That's
You're not going to see
insane.
that anymore.
No way.
264 games complete out of 301 started.
You're lucky to get 6 innings now. That's crazy.
No kidding, right? Wow. Thanks, Big George, for that. 888-368-1580. Mr. J says, Becky Hammond for Suns coach. Why not? What say you, Ralph?
Well, I brought
Becky
that up.
Hammond.
That was our Chat GPT second pick, remember? Becky Hammond. I thought it was a girl.
I mean, she is.
Do you think that Mr.
is a girl.
J is a,
Yeah,
is a girl?
She was.
I had no idea.
She played.
Mr. J's a girl?
Becky Hammond. She played for the San Antonio Silver Stars, and then Greg Popovich hired her. She worked her
I
way.
remember. Yeah.
Up
Actually,
the coaching staff.
she's really good.
No, she's really good.
She's a
and
really good
smart.
coach.
She is.
And
she's
now
a two-time champ.
With
I
the
don't
Las
know if
Vegas
she-
Aces, the defending champs. So.
I wouldn't put her in this situation. I'd give her
Yeah,
something better than that. I don't think that's not a good first shot.
Because I just think this thing could. It depends. Obviously, if you win, then you look brilliant. But if you don't, you're stuck. Like
I'd give her a chance if she's the right person for the job. Why not?
I think she's going to get.
She's a hard ass.
She's going to get a chance somewhere.
She's tough with those girls from Las Vegas.
She was when she was coaching because Greg Popovich would just if he ever missed a game or whatever, he would just let her coach.
Hey Becky, handle this. I'm going to go get a steak in the locker room.
She was absolutely working those players.
Well, I mean, why not?
I mean,
If
they were
your
listening to
respect.
her. Yeah. So
if they have your respect, if you go in there and you gain their respect, why not? I don't have a problem with it.
No matter who you are, as long as you go in there showing that you know what you're talking about and that you can help them be better, then you should get their respect.
Ringless Joe says, Keon, sometimes coach motivating the team is more important than the coach experience. Look at Dan Campbell. He led the Lions to 2 playoff wins despite having very little experience coaching because he got a team to believe in themselves.
But that's a younger team, right? Like if we're talking about a team of guys you need to motivate, they also need to respect you. And that's the reason why I think the experience matters here in particular, because those guys need somebody with a track record. They need somebody who has done something in this league. And look, maybe it is JJ Redick, because it's not like he's done nothing in this league. That guy was a really good basketball player. And you can ask any NBA player that had to play against him, like that's somebody that you had to account for because of what he would make you do on defense, running through all of those screens. The guy's really smart, but it's just, is he going to have the respect?
Let me ask you this, Keon. Do you think LeBron James, when he retires as a player, do you think he goes into coaching for the NBA?
No, because I just don't think he has the interest in it. I think LeBron's more business mogul now than he is basketball player even. So more than coach even. Yeah.
He'll be more of a businessman and an activist. He won't be.
So like an owner?
He's more likely to own a team than he is
I can see that.
to coach a team. Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been the Daily Blender. I'm sorry we didn't get to everything. Pierre says, hey, Kyle G, by the way, we have the great CFL here in Canada, the creme de la creme, if it were.
You didn't say that.
And yes, my team is the reigning Grey Cup champions in Montreal Alouettes. See you tomorrow at 3 p.m.
Doug.
Being a